shout out to everybody. We back. You know what I mean? I just got off work. Hopefully everybody's gonna have a good day. Shout out to y'all. I've been like paying attention to everything that's been going on, and we've been seeing some interesting videos. First of all, I do want to say it looks like Jennifer Aniston came out in support of Kamala Harris. I do want to show that real quick if I can. Let me open up another tab for y'all, because they going in on Jennifer Aniston. I'll say this, like, you know, vote for who y'all want to vote for. You know what I mean? Like, obviously I'm voting for Trump, but I don't think somebody should be like bullied and harassed because of that. Let's see. Even though I never want to be friends with her ever, like, you know what I'm saying? But shout out, and Jennifer Aniston, she ended up posting this. Says, today, not only did I vote for access to health care, for reproductive freedom, for equal rights, for safe schools, and for a fair economy, but also for sanity and human decency. Please remember that whoever you are and wherever you live, your voice matters. Your vote matters. And so when she started it off like that, I'm like, oh, she about to vote for Trump. And then she says, I know we do not agree on everything, and that is the beautiful thing about the country, but good Lord, aren't you tired of the negativity towards each other, the intimidation and constant threats to those who do not think the same as others? Let's please, in this era of fear, chaos, and the attacks on our democracy, and vote for someone who will unite us and not continue to threaten dividers. So this is like, when I'm reading her post, I'm like, yo, she about to vote Democrat. I mean, Republican. There's no way Jennifer Aniston is about to vote Democrat when she's saying all of these things. Because if you remember, we looked at Michelle Obama's speech, and she's constantly like, she's trying to break up the family. You seen, what was it? Barack Obama, he's shaming African Americans for not voting for Kamala Harris and saying like, oh, we only don't want to vote for her because she's a female. So I'm seeing that all of the, you know, the propaganda that's been coming out on the left, seeing Kamala Harris blaming Trump for anything and everything, not taking responsibility for her administration. So when I see, let's please end this era of fear, chaos, and attack on our democracy and vote for someone who will unite us and not continue to threaten to divide us, I thought she was going to go with the Republican Party. She said, I very proudly voted for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We are so lucky we get to vote, and this election is in our hands. We only have 1 week until election day, so talk to your friends, family, and your neighbors, and let's find our way back to each other with respect, common cause, and love. You know what I'm saying? I do want to say, you know, shout out to her, but I think you are completely wrong and missing the point. But that just shows me that either she's really out of touch and doesn't know what's going on, or she doesn't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody in the chat. I see y'all coming in. If y'all can, hit the hearts, hit the like button and all that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all can, so we can kind of kick into the algorithm. It's early. I think it's like 7:31 in the morning, but we still trying to get the word out. You know what I mean? Let's listen to what Devore Darkins has to say. Shout out to him. His channel's been going crazy. He ended up getting, I think, like 70,000 subscribers in like 4 or 5 days. Like, his channel's been moving. I predict he's probably going to have around 1 million subscribers before the end of next month. This is how fast his channel is moving. So shout out to him.
Promising to bring people together, even people you disagree with. You say, well, have a seat at the table. How do you convince Trump supporters of that, though, when you're calling their candidate a would-be dictator, a petty tyrant?
I am talking to everyone as an American.
Meanwhile,
hello, everybody. This is Donald Trump, and 250 million people are not garbage.
Shout out to Donald Trump for the clapback.
All right. There are 2 updates for you. Number 1, Trump trolls Kamala in an epic way, by the way. I think you guys are going to love this if you haven't seen it already. Because what his campaign is doing is making sure the attention is on the garbage comment from Joe Biden. And I think they're finding success with that. Number 2 are the early voting numbers that have now come out. And I think it's
good,
worth
Adam?
looking at, because at this point in time, the early voting numbers are probably more important than what the polls are saying. So let's start with this epic troll from Trump.
I'm going to interrupt you for a moment. Stand by for a moment. Trump is answering some questions from reporters.
Joe Biden to make that statement, it's really a disgrace.
You said the military could be used, that the military or the National Guard could be used on election day if necessary. Can you explain what you meant by that in detail?
I don't think they'll have to be used. I think we're going to have a big victory. And I think 250 million people in this country are going to be very happy because we're going to bring the country back. We're a nation.
Yo, talk about like being like fast on your feet and like giving a response. Like, yo, pulling up in a garbage truck after Joe Biden said what he said, bro. That is epic. Shout out to him, bro.
Decline. Very, very serious decline. And we're going to bring our country back. How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
All right, so let me give you the bigger picture. He steps off his jet with the orange vest on, gets into the garbage truck with the campaign logo on the side, answers questions from reporters, heads to the rally, and says this.
And I have to begin by saying 250 million Americans are not garbage.
Right. And then now you see like the White House like coming out and addressing Joe Biden's comments saying, oh, well, he didn't really mean that. Like the black lady that comes out, she's like, oh, well, he didn't really mean that. What he was trying to say, we know what he meant. Like he meant what he meant. Like why do you guys have to come out and try to correct every little thing that he says? Like, isn't he like cognitively aware of what he's doing? That's what y'all been trying to sell us. So let his comments stand.
This week, Kamala has been comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And now, speaking on a call for her campaign last night, crooked Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. No way. No way. And they actually mean it, even though, without question, my supporters are far higher quality than Crooked Joe or Lion Kamala. Higher quality.
So again, Jennifer Aniston, you ended up saying something along the lines of, you kind of want somebody to bring everybody together and not cause a divide and all of that. Well, Joe Biden, he ended up calling Trump supporters garbage. So, I mean, what do you think about that, Jennifer Aniston? I'm just asking you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking.
My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. That's true. You can't be president if you hate the American people, which I believe they do.
All right, so there's just a few things here. Number one, Trump is very disciplined at this point. He's more focused than he's ever been in this campaign, one could argue. And he's closing very strongly. I mean, anything that he can use to dominate the media cycle and take away that attention that Kamala Harris is trying to get for that speech she gave on Tuesday, he's being very successful at that. If you listen to what he's saying, it's exactly the way middle class, union workers, blue collar people who work with their hands, citizens who live in these rural areas.
Yo, I can't wait for Rita. Hold on, let me see if she got something on that. I can't wait for her to find out like what happened. She's gonna clip Joe Biden, bro. Look at this. Yo, like this is crazy. Like I cannot believe she don't think that the Biden-Harris administration is divisive.
Losing it and fresh from calling half the country human garbage and then
get her, Rita. Shout out to Rita.
Pretending he never said it. The leader of the free world, President Joe Biden, went back to doing what he does best, sniffing babies and biting babies now too. He's gone from putting his foot in his mouth to putting baby feet in his mouth.
What? This is insane. This is literally insanity, bro.
He's putting the whole thing in his mouth multiple times, my gosh. And he wasn't done yet. He spotted another baby. Oh, there you go. He's back.
Can you imagine like being like a kid and like seeing like some old dude coming up to you? Nah, bro. Joe Biden, you bugging. If y'all can't hit that like button, I appreciate it.
To sniffing them, back to doing what is most comfortable with, just totally normal behaviour. Meanwhile, the Veep, the woman who wants to be leader of the free world, is out there spewing the most outrageous lies. Here she is in Pennsylvania earlier today.
And look, Donald Trump's not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. Yes, even here in Pennsylvania, if he were successful. He would restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies.
Lies, 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 lies. And she lies with the comfort of knowing the bulk of the media will let her get away with it. Meanwhile, Trump is turning
That's
Biden.
weird. Like, they don't fact check or anything. Like, she could just literally spew whatever she wants and nobody says anything about it. That's like the most interesting thing. Like, New York Times won't say anything. Like, this is crazy, bro. CNN will just cover up for her. Charlemagne the guy to be quiet. Attack everybody else. That's silly.
Biden's comments and the Democrats' hysteria into another iconic campaign moment.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
He then answered questions from the truck. It was a press conference, more robust press conference than Kamala faces. And then he said this to a rally at Wisconsin today.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
Right. But you know what? Maybe I'll wear a garbage bag like when I'm going to vote. Maybe I'll do that. But I mean, I don't know if I can even do that as a joke. You know why? Because you can't even wear this hat when you go to vote. Because people are stopped. Let me see if I got like a video. Like, people are being stopped for wearing a hat. Pretty ridiculous if you ask me. Let me see if I got something like that on here. People complaining. Before I get to that, it says, he's got a good video. We are all garbage. On November 5th, the garbage takes the trash out for good. Share this with your friends. Make the left regret this. Nobody stays home. Let's listen to what you got to say.
First, they called us deplorables, then domestic terrorists, then insurrectionists, then threats to democracy, then Nazis. Now, garbage. There we are. All of us. In the eyes of the left, that's what they think of us right there. That's what they think of us right there. If you support the First Amendment and free speech, you're garbage. If you support the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, garbage. If you support the men and women of law enforcement, garbage. If you want a secure border, garbage. If you want free, fair, and secure elections, you're garbage. If you want lower taxes, garbage. If you want to stop funding foreign wars, garbage. If you want healthy food, you're garbage. If you want a good education for your children, you're garbage. If you want America to lower energy costs and produce its own energy, you are garbage. You understand me?
You guys want to know something too? So I ended up putting up like a YouTube short, and it was the short of what Joe Biden said. And I basically said in the title, nothing salacious or anything like that. I just said what it was in the title, and they went ahead and limited the video. That's what they did. So, but I guess like a lot of, so I took it down because it's like, yo, I could put it on a different platform if you guys are going to do that. And, you know, before you know it, like everybody was talking about it because, you know, it's big news. And so now, you know, I put it back up there and it was good, but it's just like, yo, you social media companies rush, you know what I mean? I'm not saying y'all doing that YouTube. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe garbage is a word that you can't really say. I don't know. But it's like, I always feel like on all these platforms, what they do is rush to censor you. Like if you say anything that could potentially be against the left, that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, I'm not saying y'all, but I'm just saying like a lot of platforms. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? And I think that it's very, very interesting. But then now I can like upload it and there's no issue. Maybe it was a glitch. I don't know. But that's very discouraging. Like if you're a content creator and you see, if you say anything, you know, not in favor of the left, your videos are limited. Your views just slow down. Like things will start happening to you. You know what I mean? On different like social media platforms. Maybe not. I mean, I do see some people that are red and pro Trump and all of that. I see that they get views. But that video just like really made me think, you know what I mean? Then it was another video that I did with nothing against community guidelines, no bad words, no nothing. They limited the video. And we were live for like a couple of hours. I had to like hit YouTube, like, why did y'all limit that video? And I'm like, I'm not trying to fight it. I just want to know, that way I'll know in the future, like what not to do. Because I'm really trying to figure out what not to do, because a video like that never should have been limited. And so they couldn't come back with a explanation for it. And they were just like, oh, well, a human reviewed it. And I'm like, well, is there any notes like saying why it was limited? Because like I watched like that video. I mean, I was in the video, but I also watched it back and I didn't see anything that would make y'all do that. And then they're like, oh, well, here's a link. Click the link and then resubmit an appeal. And so I got another human to do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, y'all be leaving that to like, you know, humans are fallible. You know, they may not like, I'm not saying that's what happened, but they may not like your political opinion and they could like limit your videos. That would discourage content creators. You know what I mean? And across all platforms, I feel like it should be fair. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you, on a lot of platforms, if I say anything positive about Kamala Harris, views are going to go crazy. That's why I say it's like real important. Like I see somebody hitting the hearts in here right now for y'all to hit the likes, share the video, subscribe to the channel, because people need to see it's not just people that look like him that are Republican. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a Diddy-crat. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like, you know what I mean? You got Democrats, you got Diddy-crats, you got the people, you know what I'm saying? The celebrities that are suspected of going to the white party, the Leonardo DiCaprio, the Beyonce, the Usher, like people like that, right? I'm not one of them. Like, people need to see it's people like me that actually think a different way. And I think that's a big deal. You know, so when you have black conservatives, y'all, like, platforms should not be trying to lower or limit like their reach, you know what I mean? But I also understand it, like from TikTok's point of view, like they probably looking at it like they are already, you know, put out legislation. We're gonna get back to the video, legislation to force the sale of TikTok. And I think they gotta sell it by, what is it, like next year? You know what I mean? Shout out to Theory 23, so hit the like. I think they gotta sell it like next year or something like that. Or it could be removed from the United States, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, when they see things like that, it's like, yo, they're willing to go as far as to enforce legislation to, you know, stifle or stop some social media platforms. We kind of got to get in line and kind of got to do what we got to do as platforms to make sure we're not in a position to we could potentially get censored one day. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's that, maybe it's not. I don't know. You know what I mean? But let's listen to what he got to say.
If you love this country and want to put America and Americans first, they think you're garbage. Do not let this go. Take this with you. All of this that they think you are, take it with you into the polls. And on November 5th, let the garbage take the trash out for good.
And y'all check this out. So they are stopping you. So it basically says mass police are threatening voters with arrest for wearing hats that say "Make America Great Again." Is this voter intimidation? And then watch this.
What will happen if I do not take my hat off?
If you refuse, you're going to be arrested and taken to jail.
If I don't take my hat off,
you're going to be fingerprinted and processed. Actually, you're not going to be taken. You're not going to be taken to jail. You're going to be fingerprinted and released.
But I'll be arrested though.
Yes.
For wearing a hat that says "Make America Great Again."
That's correct.
It does not say Donald Trump on it anywhere.
That's correct. That's correct.
What do y'all think about that? I wonder what Jennifer Aniston's talking about, because I'd be seeing this lady.
He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation, and that has to stop.
Yeah, I want y'all message on social media to be like governed. You know what I mean? Like, don't that sound like communism? And speaking of communism, Candace Owens, she ended up doing a video and basically exposed like the heritage or her family tree, and shown that people in her family from back in the day not only owned plantations, they used to have ties to communism. So I think that's very interesting. You know, but when you got platforms like X that are willing to allow people to voice their opinions and say whatever they feel, these people want these platforms sanctioned.
He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down.
It's
and
ridiculous.
The bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation, and that has to stop.
That's ridiculous. And you know, Twitter, like, because this will never make CNN. This right here, let me show y'all. So it's basically, I said, how is this not viral? Kamala Harris disrupted on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Nobody even knows this happened.
15,000 children died because of you. Stop the genocide. You're a murderer. 15,000 children. She has her phone. Kamala Harris. It's good to have you back.
You're interrupting my flow.
Jimmy Kimmel said, "You're interrupting my flow." Wow.
Almost everything that Kamala Harris says about Donald Trump is not true. She accuses him of wanting to implement an abortion ban, which he has promised to veto. She accuses him of wanting to eliminate Social Security. He has promised to protect it. And she accuses him of wanting to implement a 20% tax on imported goods. That's not how tariffs work. Meanwhile, everything that Trump says about Kamala Harris is true. She was the border czar. She did say that aliens in detention should get trans surgeries. She was part of the administration that oversaw record inflation. She oversaw a coup against Biden. She lied about Biden's mental fitness, and she was part of the disastrous foreign policy of the Biden administration. I think that what we're really seeing here is an election between people with real problems and an election between people with fake problems. Donald Trump is representing the real struggles of downwardly mobile working class men. And Kamala Harris is representing a made-up struggle, an abortion ban, which will never happen, to make rich women feel like they are part of an oppressed category. And that is my final take on the endgame here, Michael.
Interesting. Let's see what he has to say about them. Mr. Joe Biden saying that supporters are garbage. Let's listen to what he has to say.
This outfit, you know, is when he called us all garbage. How stupid! What a stupid word. That blows deplorable away, don't you think? Of course, I thought irredeemable when she said deplorable or irredeemable. I thought irredeemable was actually worse, but deplorable seemed to catch up. But this garbage stuff blows it away. So I'm in this beautiful plane. I'm enjoying myself. Have a wonderful suit on. And one of my people came in and said, "Sir, you know, the word garbage is the hottest thing right now out there. The hottest thing out there."
Hey,
Sir,
Yerrick, I see you.
would you like to drive a garbage truck? Now, we're about, 30 minutes from landing. We had to do this pretty quick. I said, it's sort of cool, though, isn't it? Because, And I said, you know, I think that's okay, but, you know, I don't feel comfortable wearing a suit. And they pulled up this garbage truck. I don't know how the hell they did it so.
Yo, think about the marketing behind that. That was like getting right on it. Okay, you want to call like, you know, crazy millions of America's garbage? Okay, I'm getting a garbage truck. I'm pulling up. You know, we gonna. This is very, very good marketing by Donald Trump. Very fast thinking. Shout out to him.
Fast. I have very capable people.
And then they done made a mistake, so now he's like really like he already is trying to like do away with taxes on overtime, do away with taxes on like automobiles, or I'm sorry, allow you to be able to claim the taxes on automobiles on your taxes. The interest on your automobiles on your taxes. He's trying to do something to where like if you're taking care of your elderly, you can, you know, use that on your taxes. So he's doing like a lot of different things to help the common man. But now y'all just put him in a uniform of the common man by trying to diss half of America by saying that they're garbage. That was the silliest thing that they could have did. And I think he is taking very, very good advantage of this marketing right now.
They put a big sign on the truck. Did you see it? I think they showed it. Yeah. And then they said, sir, we have a vest. I said, well, should I leave my suit on and put it over the vest? But that doesn't look very good, right? That doesn't look good. So I said, all right, look, let me take it off. And then I actually said, I climbed into the truck, but so I said, how the hell do you get into this truck? It's way up high. It's a big one. This was a beauty. I said, you didn't have to buy it that big, right? You have to get it that big? They brought this brand new, gorgeous truck, wonderful driver. He looked like Cary Grant in his prime. You know who that is? This beautiful driver. And he drove that big thing up. And I said, man, this is bad, because now I have all the cameras are all what? Look at all the fake news. They were most of them.
Yo, and he calls the fake news out. That's fire. That is fire.
No, most of them, many of them were there. And I'm saying, oh, boy. You know, one little mistake with these guys and your political career's over. You can't even. So I said, man, if I don't get up there, this is going to be very embarrassing.
Yeah, if y'all can, also like double tap the screen if you got an iOS device or Android, just double tap the screen. Also, I see somebody hitting the hearts in here. If y'all can do that, we got to get this into the algorithm. Y'all do know when there is something that may appear to be negative with the left, a lot of times on a lot of social media companies, I'm not talking about this one, but a lot of them, it gets lost and, you know, certain algorithms. So, you know what I mean? If y'all can, we want to ensure that does not happen on YouTube. We're hoping that they keep this fair, but hit the like button if y'all can so we can push this video out. And shout out to Cassandra for coming in here and saying that. Shout out to you.
These stupid people, they'll say, he's cognitively and physically impaired. And I can't do that when I'm alongside of this great athlete. I got to get up to that. So look, the first stair is like up here. I'm saying, shit. So I had the adrenaline going and I made it.
He's more personable. You know what I mean? He speaks the language of the people. He's not all like super political and I'm going to say the right, you know, what my party think is the right thing. He's just talking to people and like the conversation just flows. You know what I mean? Like, and people gravitate to him. That's what it is. This is what Kamala Harris cannot do. And I will be very, very, I don't even want to say anything about some of these platforms because I don't want them to come at me. But will the Shade Room, you know, they did like an interview with Kamala Harris. Will they end up posting this clip on the Shade Room? I'm very, very interested to see whether or not they'll do that or not.
I made it. And then I gave a little news conference from the front of the, you know, they asked their wise guy questions and everything. And then we drove about 2 feet. I got out, got into the plane. And then I got in the car and I'm driving over here and I have this still on. And I come into the arena.
Shout out to Lisa.
And I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. I said,
hey, Biden, what you said is definitely backfiring. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure y'all get out there and vote. But we live, we talking.
and I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, you know, it actually makes you look thinner. I said,
hey, yo, somebody in the comment section, one of the subscribers said if they let Kamala in there, she will pardon Diddy because that's her friend. I don't know, man. I can't tell whether or not this, because you got to think, man, like all the Diddy, you know, the people with the white parties, the Beyonce, you know what I mean, the Leonardo DiCaprio, the Usher, like all of them are on the podium with her, you know, or going to the podium. So I don't know, like maybe, you know, maybe she will pardon Diddy. I don't know. Who knows? Matthew Goways with the $1.99. Appreciate that, bro. Like you helping to sponsor this. Shout out to you.
and they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I look thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage.
Shout out to him, bro.
Do more lefties losing it with my next guest, Sky News contributor Kosha Gator. Kosha, let's have a look at some of the absurd lengths the media has gone to in order to excuse or try to cover up Joe Biden's comments calling half the country garbage. Here is CNN blaming a stutter.
Joe Biden has never been a big arena speaker. He's never been the most fluid speaker. And by the way, as someone who had a...
Shout out to Jeffrey Marion. He said, great content. I just found this and I'm a subscriber now. I appreciate you for subscribing, man. And a lot of you guys that may be in the comments, like, you know, I mean, if you're a Kamala supporter, that's fine. But, you know, I'll be trolling too. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind y'all trolling, but just try not to get like disrespectful with people just because they have a difference of opinion in you. Because when you start using ad hominem attacks and doing things like that, that's when you're losing an argument. So, I mean, healthy debate is good, but I don't want y'all, like, you know, coming in here, like, trying to intimidate, like, people that are subscribed. You know what I mean? I don't want y'all doing that.
Stutter growing up. It's very obvious to me that there's an apostrophe at the end of supporters there. He was referring to the garbage spewed by supporters, not simply the supporters themselves.
So now this guy is making excuses and try to rearrange what Joe Biden said. Like, what?
Calling half the country garbage. Here is CNN blaming a stutter.
Joe Biden has never been a big arena speaker. He's never been the most fluid speaker. And by the way...
So you think he should be president? Like, he can't even speak. He's never been the most fluid speaker. He's never been a... Like, so you think he should be president? You think he should be going in front of the United Nations? You think he should be like if he can't, like, speak, how is he going to be sitting there... You know what I mean? In the situation room talking to people if he's got like an issue with speaking. Kev Green with the 99-cent like. I appreciate you, bro.
As someone who had a stutter growing up, it's very obvious to me that there's an apostrophe at the end of supporters there. He was referring to the garbage spewed by supporters, not simply the supporters themselves.
It was a stutter. He's not good with words, really. And not to be outdone, we had this from the ladies of The View. Here is Whoopi Goldberg, who seems to be in a permanent state of hysteria nowadays.
I don't understand why all the pearl clutching over Biden's statement, why they all have a problem with what Biden said. Mm-hmm. When what this other guy has said,
J.D. Vance.
No, I'm gonna watch the clip.
Bro, this is so like they are so biased. They can't even hide it. And she used to be cool with Donald Trump. Remember when on the Joe Rogan podcast he talked about that? She had a lot of nice things to say about Donald Trump, but as soon as she gets higher on The View, this is how she turned. This is what people would do for money. It's ridiculous.
Whose name she doesn't
We're like a garbage can. You know, it's the first time I've ever said that. We're like a garbage can. We're like a garbage can. It's like we're a giant garbage can.
Yeah. So he's talking about country.
The country.
The entire American
Garbage can.
population.
He's talking about the country, the entire population. That's what they're claiming, kosher. Wasn't he talking about the fact that unchecked illegal immigration has seen thousands of criminals flood the country and treat the country like a garbage can? Isn't that kind of
It's kind of a different context than what Whoopi Goldberg was trying to sell her audience, wasn't it?
really important context to add there?
Absolutely, but honestly, with the ladies of The View, I don't know if they genuinely understood that or don't understand it, but the American people understand it. This is why immigration is a top 2 issue, and everybody sees the numbers, everybody sees the very tragic, sad anecdotes, and everybody knows what it means. The mental gymnastics that they and the other guy on CNN are going through to try and describe this is really, it's funny, I think, because of what happened 48 hours before, where they were making a big deal out of trash, and then literally the same thing
Kamala's
happened.
come out and disowned it now. She's,
Now.
I think, realised no amount of media cover is going to limit the damage.
Yep.
So she's distanced herself. Is Joe Biden doing this on purpose? Is he trying?
Yeah, exactly. Read it. Like, yo, like, what do y'all think about this? Like, let's be real. Like, comment section. Like, I'm watching y'all. Let's be real about this. I'm curious what y'all think. Joe Biden, I feel like, if you are a Kamala Harris supporter, him coming out and saying anything is not really that great of a thing right now, right? Because you don't want him to come out and say something like this, calling Trump supporters garbage, which is going to alienate a lot of the, you know, the electorate, like the voters. And now she's getting a lot of negative criticism, and she just did her last speech. Allegedly, this is her last speech she did. So, were her closing arguments in like one of her rallies or whatever. So, and then this guy comes out and does this. Like, isn't that counterproductive? You know, I would be, if I was a Kamala Harris supporter, I would be like, why would the White House allow him to even speak right now? And then he's out like biting baby's feet and like doing all, like he is, like he's low-key wilding right now. And it's like, can't y'all just get him, take him on vacation, get him out of the public eye? That way the public can focus on Kamala Harris. That's what I would be thinking if I was a Kamala Harris supporter. Because now, like, because her campaign to me has been disastrous. Right? It's one thing after another. We're finding out that everything that she says is a soundbite. I mean, we can't even tell if she believes what she says. The interviews, she's bombing her interviews. You got Anderson Cooper turning against her. You've got SNL turning against her. You got Charlamagne the God, like, putting out a statement saying that she's out of touch with the voters. So you got all of these different things going on. And she's doing softball interviews with Shannon Sharp. He's asking her, what did you eat for breakfast? You know, yeah, all these like weird things. All this is going on for her. So I feel like she doesn't like have a strong like reason to why anybody should be voting for her. I don't think she's like set enough policies. Like, a lot of people don't even know what her policies is. Like, we know her for going ahead and plagiarizing Trump's speech. When he talked about, you know, no taxes on overtime and no taxes on tips, she goes ahead and she plagiarized that. What she should have did, when we went through and we read both of their plans of what they were going to do, she should have been saying, like, okay, the cost of food is too high, right? And we feel like food manufacturers are artificially inflating prices, because this is what she's saying on the website, on her website. And so we're trying to put things in place to put that in check, right? She should be running off of that, but she doesn't want to admit that food prices are high. She was pushed in a couple of situations where she had to admit it. One was a 60 Minutes interview where she had to say prices are still too high. And I think it may have even been like in a town hall where she said prices are high. So we know prices are high, and we see Michelle Obama, before she told women to turn against their men and don't listen to them. Michelle Obama opened up her speech and she said, you know, I know you guys are upset about the slow growth of progress, but don't let your rage, you know, enable you to sit out, you know, voting, because it, you know, by you sitting out, it's going to affect women's safety. That's what Michelle Obama said, and that's what we, but Michelle Obama is admitting there's a slow growth in progress. And then the Biden-Harris administration is supposed to say, oh, well, there's progress. This is what we're doing. But, in our policies moving forward, this is what we're going to do. But the problem with that, they would have to admit that they did nothing in these 4 years except trying to get Trump a felony, which is not stopping people from voting for him. If anything, it made him more infamous. It made him more popular. And then now people can further identify with Trump like, yo, he understands what it feels like for the government to be against him. So really, I think what they're doing, and then you got Joe Biden, what he's doing, they're low-key making Trump a hero, right? And then now he's in they say, oh, well, he doesn't think about the common man. Now he's in a garbage truck. Now he's doing speeches with the garbage, you know what I'm saying? Like with the garbage uniform on and all that. Like, so I think everything that they're doing is backfiring. But if I was Kamala Harris's advisor, I would be like, all right, you and Tim Walz need to hammer this down. The prices of food is too high. Inflation was up to close to 7%. It came down. It's still not lower than when Trump was in office, but we want to say, inflation is down, and now we just have to work on like pricing and trying to fix like the cost of food. And then also they said something in Kamala's policy on their website that they want to get rid of like predatory fees, right? Like, let's just say you buy a ticket like Ticketmaster or something and they give you these excessive fees. They said something like the average American pays like upwards close to like $450 to like $650 in fees, like nominal fees for like random things. So they said they did want to get rid of fees. I remember the Department of Justice came out and they said that they were going to prosecute, I think it was like Live Nation and Ticketmaster for like fees, like overfeeing people and controlling the venues for the artists, so the artists can't really deal with anybody but them. So they were going to go after that, but it looks like they just did a full blanketed plan to go after anybody that is excessively feeing Americans. They could have ran off of that, but it seems like their advisors is either they're leading Kamala Harris in the wrong direction, or she's not listening. Maybe she's too tired doing all of these, campaign runs, doing all these friendly media meets. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. But I think she's conducted her campaign the wrong way. And then, because you got to get out of because Americans' minds are thinking like, yeah, we hear what you're saying, Kamala Harris, but prices are too high. Like I was at work, right? I worked last night. Somebody like where I work at was saying, oh, like, well, I want to do trick-or-treating, but the price of candy is crazy. Like somebody literally said that at work. And I mean, I would suspect this person would probably vote for Kamala Harris. Didn't tell me that, but I would suspect this person would do it, right? But this person is literally complaining about the cost of candy. You know what I'm saying? The cost of dog food treats for your dog. It's like $18, $19, $20 for treats for your dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? The price of milk and eggs is still through the roof. So Americans are seeing at the grocery store when they have to pull their credit cards out or pull their bank cards out or pull their cash out and they got to pay for these groceries, and the grocery bill is as much as what rent used to be. Like what you're saying as far as like making the country whole and trying to fix things is not resonating with us. When we had a president who was qualified, Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? Because he's already been president, so he's qualified, right? We had no wars. And I don't know what y'all think, and I'm going to get to that super chat in a second, but like wars do affect prices. When there's wars going on, it affects distribution. And then you've got predatory business owners that feel like, okay, well, they got something going on. Now I can raise the prices for everybody else. Like, so wars can make businesses money in multiple different ways. And some people like wars. Some businesses like wars. They prefer wars to continue to go, so they can supply the military. They can supply like different things. You see what I'm saying? But the war is hurting us. I would rather a president be in there that could stop the war. I don't think Kamala Harris is going to be a force that's going to stand up to Vladimir Putin and tell him, pull out of Ukraine and stop, and mean it. You know, she's too nice. She's too happy-go-lucky, you know, for Vladimir Putin to take her serious. And we even seen Vladimir Putin like joking about he wants her to be president. Why would he want her to be president? I know why, because he knows he can get over on her. He's already getting over on Joe Biden, right? And then you got Iran got $100 billion excess of additional capital to use for whatever they want to use for. They didn't have that when Trump was in office. Now we got an open border, which is going to cause more problems. There's going to be more people like, you know what I mean, taking your jobs or working under the table. And then now you got, you know, the cost of rent could go up because you're going to have a lot more people concentrated in different areas. And if I'm a landlord, I'm just going to, hey, man, it's a whole bunch of people here. Whoever can pay me the most rent, that's who I'm going with. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Millions of people flooding over the borders. We sitting there watching Kamala Harris talk to 60 Minutes, and they're telling her that, you know, the number of people coming over the border has quadrupled in 2 years. That's a big deal. Very big deal. You know, so I think her administration, in my opinion, and this is me being respectful as possible, I think she's heavily relying on celebrities to try to, I mean, they even went as far as to lead people to think that they were going to go to a Beyonce concert. You know, and then when people found out there was no Beyonce concert, they started to walk out. This is everywhere. I mean, even like liberal media low-key had to admit, you know what I'm saying? Like something was going on. So, I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? Y'all, you tell me what y'all think. And then you got Mafioso with the $2 donation. He said, just voted for the garbage man. Salute, Piper Boy. Shout out to you, Mafioso. Shout out to you for supporting this. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think she's moving in the right direction. I don't think The View can really help because it's too much separation going on. It's like man versus women. You're supposed to be like, everybody, we all riding through this together. It's not just black celebrities I'm going to put up here. I'm going to put up Taylor Swift or maybe get Adele to perform or maybe get, you see what I'm saying? Maybe a Post Malone. I don't know what he is, but a person like that, right? Maybe have them like, don't make me think this is just like a pander to the black community. You know what I mean? I would be feeling some, like if I was a white voter, I would be like, what is this? You know what I mean? And then men are kind of looking at it because when we watched Michelle Obama's speech, she told them basically, do not listen to your man. That's what she said. Then she said, men have to do better by us. Like, what do you say? So you further like this lady, bro. Y'all are making this like no other races matter to y'all other than like legal immigrants flooding in. That's what y'all care about. Y'all care about black people and black celebrities. Y'all need to be cared about everybody. You know what I mean? And I would feel some type of way if I was white. I'm just saying what it is. If I was Indian, I would feel some type of way like, yo, she don't want to be Indian no more. Now she's saying she black and she already said she was an Indian. And then we seeing Shannon Sharp basically say you were the first Indian American to do this, the first Asian American to do this, the first black lady to do this. It's like she every race. You know what I mean? But she want to claim black now. It's like, what? And then we seeing Candace Owens showing us that in the book that you guys are putting family members that are not, allegedly putting family members that may not be your family members in the book. And what you guys are doing is making colored pictures black and white so people couldn't differentiate between what race a person is. You know, that was in the photos, which is interesting. And then Ms. Barrow, you know, Candace Owens does the research. She's pulling up birth certificates. She ends up finding out from her research that your grandmother's actually like Caucasian and like, I think like Jewish and Irish or something like that. Is what Candace Owens ended up finding out. Not that black lady sitting there like in the photo. And then she finds out that Barrow allegedly passed away. I mean, she's showing like certificates and everything. Like Miss Barrow passed away before you were even born. So it's like, who is this lady that y'all trying to convince us that is your grandmother? Who's this black lady? So it's just like, it's so many inconsistencies. What they're trying to make us believe. I think they think like Americans are not intelligent enough to do the research. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I think is going on. And I think Candace Owens cracked the case. I don't see anybody asking her any questions about that, which I'm shocked. But, you know, they're not going to go on any platform and agree to release, you know, an interview that is going to have like those questions. Like, I want to know, like, what do you think about Candace Owens? She got millions of views on these videos breaking down your family tree. She found out that you were allegedly married before, you know, and nobody even knew about this. She's showing a marriage certificate. Like, so it's, you know, like, who are you? We finding out that you went to school in Canada. You went to high school in Canada. You started college in Canada in your formative years, and you come back to the United States, and then, like, we just supposed to forget about that because you went to Howard or whatever. It's like, who are you? You hanging out with Montel Williams, like, what, you know, you look like you trying to be like a video vixen. Like, I don't know, you know, so we like, who is this lady? And it's the same thing with Obama. It's like, yo, he was born in, like, he was raised in Indonesia. His father wasn't even around. He's raised by a white lady. Then he ends up going to Hawaii, going to a school that has no black people in it. And then he wants to like get in a room and shame African Americans for not wanting to vote for Kamala Harris. And calling us brother. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why is it that, like, a black candidate can come from America and be, like, homegrown in America, go through American schools the entire time, like, all of that? Like, why can't that happen to get a president? And then we find out, like, these people are, like, low-key robots. You know what I mean? Like, you catch them doing speeches. They're saying the same thing over and over again and all different kind of speeches. And it's like, you can't speak off the cuff. You're going on Univision. You need a teleprompter. And it's like, we're supposed to believe that you can get into a room with these warlords and carry on a conversation. Like, it's hard for me to believe that that's possible. And we're hearing this. Nothing but this.
Should never again stand behind
She even got the hand gestures down. Like, it's the hand gesture. It's the way she moves her hand and saying the same thing over and over again. And Charlemagne the God said, America First message resonates with voters. Kamala's ticket, very out of touch. He even said that. Who would have expected? Yo, y'all funny. Look at this. They put a MAGA hat on. Hey, y'all, hey, I seen something. I'm going to play this first. And then right after I play this, I seen that Bill O'Reilly cooked somebody. I think it was Mark Cuban. Because Mark Cuban like thinks he's smart. Like, I think most people can cook Mark Cuban. He got a lot of money. I think he's worth like 4.5 billion or 5.5 billion. But debate wise, like, he's not really that good of a debater, I realize.
You walked in here and you gave everyone in the audience these Make America Healthy Again hats. As a mom, as Americans, we appreciate what you're doing because we're getting older and we're thinking about, we want to live a long life. We want to see our grandchildren. I want to see my grandchildren walk down the aisle. You go to Europe and you might eat pizza in Italy and you don't feel bad and you don't gain weight.
Yeah, I'm glad she said that. Remember, like, before any of this election stuff, I went, like, I was doing blogs, right? So I went to Switzerland. I went to Geneva, Switzerland. I went to Zurich, Switzerland. I went to France. I went to Genoa, Italy. I went to Milan, Italy. I went to Lake Como, Italy. Like, that's where, like, George Clooney used to live at and whatever. And Piers Morgan, shout out to him. I seen that you were in Como, Italy. Shout out to you. But, like, when I was overseas, I always heard it's, like, super expensive over there, whatever. But when I was over there, right, I ate anything and everything that you could possibly, like, eat, you know what I mean, at restaurants and all of that, right? And it's just because it's like the food tastes like food. It doesn't, remember when you were, like, younger and you had, like, a piece of cheesecake, like, when you were, like, a kid, and it's just, like, the most exciting, like, You know what I'm saying? Whatever to your taste bud. It's just like, yo, like this food like tastes really good. Like maybe when you ate Fruity Pebbles, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your favorite food was when you was a kid, you know, it was just like really, really good. Well, that feeling like that, your taste buds still feel like are still the same. It's just they put in so much processed like stuff in our food, like it doesn't taste the same as it did like back like in the 90s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just tastes completely different. When I went over there to Europe, like the sensation of the food, like it was just so different. Right? So I was like, yo, I mean, I wasn't like really hungry. I was just eating just to eat, right? Because I just wanted to taste everything. I had 8 days in Europe. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna eat everything that I can while I'm in Europe. And I wasn't tired. I wasn't fatigued. I actually lost 10 or 20 pounds, 10 to 20 pounds. I think it's like 15 or something, but it's like 10 to 20 pounds I lost. And mind you, I was eating everything that I could possibly. Every time I seen a pizza place, I'm like, yo, like I want to stop here, like every little restaurant, because I want to taste all the pizza in Italy, like if I can, you know. And it's like I'm losing weight. It was like really weird, and it's because we don't have all the, you know, they didn't have like all the GMOs, like all the like the crap that they put in the food here, you know. And it's interesting that she said like, yo, you can go there, you can eat like whatever you want and like lose weight. That's a problem. You know, so I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think they really do need to. If y'all can't get, because let's be clear, they cannot get healthcare right in America. They haven't been able to. Like the Obamacare, the pre-existing condition clause, cool. But then you like end up giving people a penalty for not getting it. Then that had to be removed. It was just like a lot, right? But it's still super expensive for healthcare, especially if you got your kids on your health. It's just crazy expensive. Why not fix the food? And I don't want to hear the, oh, well, we got to put all these preservatives in food because there's so many people in America. And all right, then why don't they have to do all that in Europe? It's a lot of people in Europe. It's because these companies are putting money in politicians' pockets. That is what's going on. That's why they won't do anything. You know what I mean? And then the companies that give you the pills and all of that, like they don't want you to eat healthy. So when you got like RFK, Robert Kennedy, like going on like a run talking about America needs to be healthier, this becomes a problem to the establishment. And then you got Donald Trump saying like, yo, I want him to work with us when I become president. That's a problem for the establishment. And if you can't fix healthcare, why not fix the food? You know what I mean? That's what I would say. And one thing I did notice, anybody in the chat, I see y'all in there. When I noticed when I was there, you know how like if you go to like different cities or whatever, you will see like cancer clinics and stuff like that everywhere. Shout out to Irvin Martinez with the $3. I appreciate you. You see like cancer clinics everywhere, right? Even if like wherever you drive, you're gonna see them, right? If you pay attention, you're gonna see them. I literally drove, like I was 8 days in Europe. I didn't see one of them. I know they got it out there, but it ain't as bad as it is here. You know what I'm saying? Must not be. You know, and it's just that it's like things are starting to click. I'm like, yo, and I was thinking, I'm like, yo, my daughter gets older. Like, I might leave America, bro. Like, Thug, like, I'm sorry, Thug life. But it's like y'all really don't even want us to be healthy. Then you think like over there, right? You got in America, you got like organic food and all that, but it's like way more expensive. Over there, they just don't be allowing them to put that stuff in their food. And when I came back, I was sticker shocked by how expensive things was in America. Another thing, right? I mean, we're going to let them talk about the food and everything. Another thing that I thought was real crazy, like when we were going to like different restaurants, it's a no tipping culture. So here, you got to like tip for everything. You go to a restaurant, you got to tip. You order a pizza. Even when you go pick it up, I don't be tipping if I'm picking up my food, I'm not tipping you. I don't care. Even when you pick up your food, they are like they ask for a tip for everything here. But when you over there, like in Europe, You know what I'm saying? If you're in Italy or if you're in like Switzerland, they look at you crazy if you try to tip them. They're just like, yo, like, you don't think I make enough? How come like people in America don't push like, yo, why can't they live like this and pay all of their bills without tips? But then America, like, we need, like, the companies are trying to pay these people little wages, and then now they got to rely on tips. Not only do some people have to rely on tips, you're going to tax them for tips? That is literal insanity, bro, to think about. But then now you got somebody that's running for president like, all right, we'll no taxes on overtime and no taxes on tips. And I'm gonna be real, like where I work at, like I make like a lot of money like doing overtime, but I don't do it because it's like the taxes. It's like the amount of money they're gonna to like it ain't even worth it. Like to do all the overtime. So like I understand like now Trump is just like, yo, like no taxes on overtime. If Kamala Harris is saying her and Tim Walz, when Tim Walz was debating JD Vance, right? He's saying there's a lot of things we're trying to pass, but we can't pass because of Trump's influence, right? So if Trump is that influential to where you guys can't pass anything, why do I want to vote for you to get in an office to where you can't pass anything? So if you're saying, even though you're plagiarizing Donald Trump's speech, and you're saying that you're going to do no taxes on overtime and no taxes on tips, and if people are taking care of their elderly, they're not going to be, are you going to help them with taxes? You basically plagiarizing what Donald Trump said. You can't pass anything through Congress. So why would we put you in, and this is just me being completely fair, why are we going to put you in a position and you literally can't do anything? And you want to keep saying, oh, we're going to tax the rich. We're going to tax the rich. But you had 4 years to tax the rich. You couldn't do it. You literally couldn't do it. So now you want us to sit there and give you another 4 years? Because you're a girl? Like, that makes no sense to me, bro. But let's listen to what Robert Kennedy is saying.
Europe and you might eat pizza in Italy and you don't feel bad and you don't gain weight. We want to know why that happens here in America and what you're going to do. But first, let's play the soundbite. This is Donald Trump at the rally at MSG.
Look, we're not going to let him go too crazy, Elon, with the oil and gas stuff. And, you know, because Robert F. Kennedy cares more about human beings and health and the environment than anybody. And he's going to be absolutely, having him is such a great honor. I've been friends of his for a long time, and I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on the food. I'm going to let him go wild on medicine.
Trump needs to be president. And this is, you don't hear Kamala talking like this. They don't care about our health. Let's keep it real. The people that have billions of dollars are putting millions of dollars in campaign funds for people who can make change. They don't care. You got the president or somebody that could be the president of the United States saying, I'm putting a Kennedy in charge of like making sure we got the FDA. I don't want to say too much about the FDA. You know what I'm saying? Because this is YouTube. They have not done anything to make sure that that's not happening. And that lady, she ended up going to Europe and she understands like, yo, I just went to Italy. I ate everything I wanted. I didn't gain weight. I didn't feel tired. And I've been saying that for months. Like since I went in April, I've been saying like, yo, I just can't believe it. You know what I mean? And I'm saving up to go back. It's like, yo, like I felt like a whole new person. Like I low key came back and I was like scared to eat. Cause I'm like, yo, I don't want to feel tired again. You know how like you come off of maybe you fasted, you see what I'm saying? Or are you like on a diet or something and then you see that pizza, you're like, man, I don't know if I want to eat that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to feel tired. You see that steak, like, I don't want to feel tired, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, then you break and you eat the steak anyway and you super tired. Man, when I came back, I went to Chipotle, bro. I was tired. You know what I mean? So It's something going on. I mean, that's Chipotle, but it's something going on with our food, and it needs to be fixed and corrected. Somebody needs to do something, and somebody needs to be in power that is at least gonna, you know what I mean, put somebody in place to kind of check and see and oversee what is going on in America. That will scare a lot of people. The people that produce sugar, you know what I mean? Like, they could be affected. You know, they make billions of dollars off of sugar. They're putting sugar in everything. Like, in America, Pepsi's got like 70-something% sugar. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. They're literally putting sugar and salt and everything. And we having people have strokes all the time from sodium. You know what I mean? Clogged arteries and sodium. Sodium makes your blood pressure go up. So all this sodium in every little thing, you can't even run from it, bro. Like, I went and I got a checkup and they're like, oh, your blood pressure's high, so we're gonna have to put you on blood pressure pills. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, I don't want to. You want to have a stroke? You know what I'm saying? You need blood pressure pills and work out. So I'm like, I got super conscious. I'm looking around at the grocery store trying to stay away from sodium. Impossible at a grocery store in America. Literally impossible. The only way you low key can is if you go to like an Asian market, and that's how you can somewhat low key stay away from some of it. But they got like sodium in their stuff too. But it's like, yo, like American markets, like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all literally making us sick. And I thought, like, maybe I could just go to Trader Joe's, I can go to Whole Foods, and it's worse there. First of all, it's super expensive. And then they be having like sodium, like 980 grams or something, like something crazy, bro. So you be having like all that salt and like your food, and it's just like, that's ridiculous, bro. Then not only the salt, you got to deal with sugar. So if you got sugar, you got all these people in America with diabetes. That's a problem. Y'all don't think that's a problem? Somebody said sugar and ketchup here, but nowhere else. Bro, when I got a soda, like, what was it? I think it was a soda. I was at the gas station in France, and it was I got a soda, and I looked, it wasn't even that much sugar, and I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, this probably tastes like trash, bro. And so and it tastes like amazing, and I'm like, well, what is it? So like, they put so much sugar in our soda here that they got to put a lot of phosphorus in it, because if they don't do that, you're gonna throw it up. Because your body wouldn't even be able to like keep it down. It's that much sugar in there, which is insane. Not only do they do that, they put caffeine in everything in America. Go look for a Diet Coke. It got caffeine in it. They're trying to get you either hooked on caffeine or hooked on sugar. One or the other, or both. You see what I'm saying? Over there, you can get like sodas with no caffeine. Caffeine, what does it do? It raises your blood pressure. No wonder why people be having strokes like crazy. It's the food here. And they will not change it. Nothing you can do. High fructose corn syrup, like sugars, it's nothing you can do. Or you're going to be relegated to look at a small little section at the grocery store that's crazy expensive. I went to like a store, right? And before we get back into not to digress too much, I went to a store just to get like sugar-free candy, bro. It was like $5.99 for like 4 pieces of candy. I'm like, what dog? Like, what is this? Over there in Europe, it's like mad candy with no sugar in it. I'm like, what? Like reasonably priced. Then like their stuff don't be having like red 40, like stuff like that. It ain't colored too much. I'm like, man, like something's going on here. And you wouldn't know unless you leave and come back. You know, propaganda pools, right? Like media pool. Like they always want to tell, like how they used to say, oh, Africa is terrible, Asia's terrible, they don't want Americans here, they don't, you know, stuff like that, right? Propaganda pool. Oh, Europe is super expensive. The valuation of the dollar versus the euro is crazy expensive. You don't even want to think about going out there, bro. I went out there and I felt like it was cheaper out there. Then the hotels are like mad cheap out there. In Italy, the hotels is crazy cheap. Bro, like, and I put a video out so people can see where I was when I was in Lake Como, Italy. It was like after I left, but I put, you know what I'm saying? I was literally like maybe 20 steps from the lake. Nice, crazy looking hotel, like $150. And then you pay the taxes after. I think it was like $14 in taxes. You ain't have to do all these. Oh, we gotta put a $200 hold on your credit card. You gotta do this, and then the room is like $200 and something here for like a Holiday Inn and some crazy small like whack. It's like they lived like it's different out there, bro. You know what I mean? Then you finding out people can like they be getting like mad time off of vacation. No, you get like 2 weeks vacation here. That's it. Some people are like struggling to the point to where they got to think about taking 2 weeks vacation. That's crazy. Like Germany, I think, don't they do like 2 months vacation? Like it's like, bruh, like y'all working everybody into the ground and y'all are giving people nothing. It's crazy.
The only thing I don't think I'm going to let them even get near is the liquid gold that we have under our feet.
What was your reaction to that?
But what do y'all think about that, though? Like, that is, who in the chat, where have y'all gone, like, to Europe? Let me know in the chat if y'all gone to Europe.
Well, he always says that, and I get it, but you know what he's right.
You must be a new subscriber or a new, yeah, you got to be subscribed, LC. He said you could tell Piperboy never leaves the state much. Bro, you know how many blogs I've done in different states? You really don't know me. Blogs in California, blogs in Florida, blogs in New York, blogs in Montana, blogs in Seattle, blogs in, like, what are you talking about? You just talking. You want to be seen, maybe, or maybe you just don't know. Like, bro, I've like when you leave the country, like going to a different state is. I've been to Jamaica. I've done a blog in Jamaica. I've done a blog in like Lake. Cozumel. You know what I'm saying? Mexico. I've done a blog in Australia. Not Australia, but Alaska. I've done a blog in the Bahamas. So it's like, what are you talking about? But when you go over there, like Europe. Like, bro, like, yeah, I'm excited about that. It was fire, like, to see something different like that.
Right, is we have the sickest children in the world right now. There's nobody in the world that has that. When I was a kid, the autism rate among Americans.
No, yeah, shout out to you, Mr. Ism. Yeah, I shouldn't be paying them attention. You're right. And the S. Dot said blog in Europe.
Children,
yeah.
and 70-year-old men today in my generation is 1 in 10,000. And my children.
But you got to understand too, like a lot of people that are subscribed to me are, you know what I mean, like they you know what I mean, black entertainment and stuff like that. And what the African American like populace is gonna be like a lot of Democrats. So if you speak in, you know, anything in favor of the red or Republicans, they're gonna try to troll you to death to get you to stop. I've got like my DMs are flooded. Like, can you please just go back to entertainment? Like, we don't like Trump. We don't like, you know, like all kind of stuff. And I don't care what they say. I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about. You know what I mean? Like whether they like it or not, you can like unsubscribe or you can go to somebody else's channel or just wait until I talk about what you want me to talk about. Other than that, we got an election coming up. I'm not going to let any of y'all bully me or try to like move me from it. Like it is what it is. You could troll to death.
Every 34 kids, 1 in every 22 boys. And the diabetes, a typical physician when I was a kid would see 1 case of juvenile diabetes in his lifetime or a 40 or 50-year career. Today, 1 out of every 3 kids who walks through his office door is diabetic or pre-diabetic. And it's costing us $4.3 trillion a year. It costs we paid zero for chronic disease when my uncle was president. Today, it's the biggest expense, 5 times our military budget. It's easy to fix. We have 1,000 ingredients in our foods that are illegal in Italy and other countries in Europe. And the reason for that is corruption. At the food industry and the agriculture, big agricultural producers, control FDA. And so they're not worried about.
Bro, this is Kennedy saying this. Establishment is not gonna like this, bro.
Public health. They're worried about advancing the mercantile interests of those corporations, and they've let them do things. You know, the companies, the big cereal companies, make two kinds of cereals. Like Fruit Loops in our country is just loaded with chemicals and food dyes that are carcinogenic, that they're going to cause ADHD in your kids.
Wow. It's crazy, bro. All this stuff is in the food. Now I gotta react to it. I can't let it play all the way out. And then shout out to Red Hunter. He said, yeah, it's weird. Whatever is wrong with the state right now, I think the kids are just mad and scared. And then Tiffany Morrison said, get off his channel if you don't want to hear his content. I mean, I don't mind, like, you know, some trolling or whatever, but it's just, you got to understand, like, we're all, like, even the people that's in the comment section, you know, that maybe, you know, voting red or whatever, it's forcing people to think, you know what I mean? And to get off of what they've been accustomed to believing like their entire life. So, and you know, you got to think, it's not just maybe the peer pressure that's around them. It's the music they listen to, the music artists that they listen to. You see what I'm saying? Like, they just may not want to veer right because of what they've been indoctrinated with. So we're challenging people's mode of thinking. And it's hard, like, because a lot of people can't substantiate a reason to vote for Kamala Harris. Like, they literally can't. Like, if you ask them, like, what is the policy? They don't know what to say. And we've watched multiple different videos like that and reacted to them. Like, they literally don't know what to say. Well, I just don't like Trump. It's Trump derangement syndrome is what it is. You know what I mean? And then you got a lot of black people that are racist. And I'm calling it what it is. Ain't nobody gonna say it. It's black culture is racist. Thug life. It is what it is. They're racist. They don't like, they be picking on the white kids at school. Like, I don't care. That's what they be doing. You know what I'm saying? Thug life. They be picking on the white kids at school. You know what I'm saying? So if you say anything like, in fact, like if they feel like you're going against anything in any type, and where it's not that, it's just like, yo, like, Trump is more quality. You literally had a better life when he was when he was president. It was clearly better. Interest rates was clearly better. You see what I'm saying? But they don't want to see that. Like, you know what I mean? And I get it, man. Like, it's just indoctrination. And it's like, yo, it's like, oh, he's white. Like, we don't want to like him. That's what it is.
If you go across the...
Even though, like, Joe Biden was one of the people that was in favor of the crime bill that locked up all kind of black people. He gets on the Breakfast Club and he says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He literally said that to Charlemagne the God, and Charlemagne just laughed like a little hyena. Well, then President Trump does the First Step Act and he gets those people out of jail. He got more black people out of jail than Obama, from what I looked at. But they want to say Trump is the racist. Trump is allowing black people to get on the podium and talk, and he go to the, you know what I'm saying, the barbershop and talk to Latinos and go anywhere. His wife isn't even white. But he'll go here, he'll be in music videos, he'll support Jesse Jackson for president. He'll do all of these different things. Even like Nelson Mandela, charter a flight for his whole family to come to America. United States didn't even think about doing that. All they had to do, all this disposable income they have, all they had to do was charter a flight. Trump did that off of his own money and never mentioned it. People had to find out about it and remind him of it. But this guy's racist. Got Kodak Black out of jail, all different type, like death row people, you know what I'm saying, that was innocent, you know, then got out of jail, black. When the Supreme Court didn't want to look at them, that like, he didn't, we get him out. But he's the racist one. It's just like, people don't think, they just want to look at, see what Lil Durk doing. That's how people are thinking right now. They're not thinking about the future of the country. And it's sad. It's really sad.
Border to Canada or to Europe, you have the same product, but it has no dyes in it. Right. It has good ingredients. So these companies know how to do it. Right. They can get away with it here.
Yeah, they can get away with it here. That's what it is. All right, so let's listen to Mark Cuban get smoked by Bill O'Reilly. Shout out to Bill O'Reilly, bro. And you know, and I'm going to keep it all the way thorough with y'all. I'm going to keep it 100% real. When I found out that CNN was lying to me, like all of these years, because I used to be blue. I voted for Trump. I ain't going to lie about that. I voted for Trump the first time. You know what I mean? But like years and years ago, you know, I voted for Trump and I voted for Obama. It is what it is. But like years and years ago, like I was blue. You know, and I used to listen to the propaganda machines like of the left, like, yo, what is New York Times? Like, what are they putting up? And, you know, like I didn't know it was like all left. You know what I mean? And now that I'm understanding and figuring out everything, it's crazy.
Trump, inflation was up 25% over the Obama economy he inherited. Ask him about Yemen, where he decided not to take action and allowed 100,000 people to keep on dying in Yemen. Talk to him about his tariffs. What worked with his tariffs? He had 4 years to make tariffs work with China. China kicked his ass. China took him to court, right? Because he didn't know how tariffs worked and it hurt the economy. The economy was rolling along and it got so hit by the tariffs that his appointment to the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, had to come back in and cut interest rates 3 times. And then we get to the real point of reckoning, the pandemic. And what does he do? He says, if we don't test people, the viruses didn't really happen. He holds back on resources, except for Vladimir Putin, to keep people from getting healthy. That is not an accomplished president, Dana. He has not done anything.
He about to get smoked.
What he got, he inherited. You know what?
And Dana White, he about to get smoked by Bill O'Reilly in a second. And Dana White got me blocked. Whatever, we got into an argument, so he got me blocked.
All right, now I got to jump in here with some course. I got to jump in with course corrections here. Number one, the real wages, which is really the only economic barometer for the folks, was up 8.2% in the 4 years Trump was president. 8.2 across the board for working Americans. Fact. Under Biden-Harris, it is around 1%. No COVID pandemic. They have failed. Number two, inflation didn't start because Putin and the Arabs did anything. Inflation started, and I don't know whether you know this, Mr. Cuban, here's Trump was president.
He's about to smoke him. He about to smoke him. Let's rewind it.
Some course. I got to jump in with course corrections here. Number one, the real wages, which is really the only economic barometer for the folks, was up 8.2% in the 4 years Trump was president. 8.2 across the board for working Americans. Fact. Under Biden-Harris, it is around 1%. No COVID pandemic. They have failed. Number two, inflation didn't start because Putin and the Arabs did anything. Inflation started, and I don't know whether you know this, Mr. Cuban, but Biden signed in his first week in office at least 20 executive orders, making it harder for every fuel company to harvest their product, whether it be fracking or oil or anything. The fuel company said, holy you know what, we're going to get hosed because our prices to get the stuff out of the ground are quadrupling, so we're going to do it retail now. That's what ignited it, not Putin and not Saudi Arabia. That is the truth.
Bill O'Reilly smoked him. No, I put that guy in timeout. I don't know if y'all seen. He had like 15 of the same messages, so he was drowning y'all out. Like I don't care. Like what? I mean, there's people in here that's like blue. It's not that. Like, but when you put 15 messages like back to back to back to back to back, you see what I'm saying? And I can't see anybody else. I'm gonna put you in timeout. It's just what it is.
Media cover is going to limit the damage. Yep. So she's distanced herself. Is Joe Biden doing this on purpose? Is he trying to hurt the Harris campaign?
This is a question. Who knows what's in his mind? You know, it could be savage.
Hold on, let's rewind this so y'all get proper context.
We're like a garbage can. You know, it's the first time I've ever said that. We're like a garbage can. We're like a garbage can. It's like we're a giant garbage can.
Taking it out of context.
Yeah. So he's talking about country.
The country.
The entire American population.
He's talking about the country, the entire population. That's what they're claiming kosher. Wasn't he talking about the fact that unchecked illegal immigration has seen thousands of criminals flood the country and treat the country like a garbage can. Isn't that kind of fairly important context to add there?
Absolutely. But honestly, with the ladies of The View, I don't know if they genuinely understood that or don't understand it, but the American people understand it. This is why immigration is a top 2 issue. And everybody sees the numbers, everybody sees the very tragic, sad anecdotes, and everybody knows what it means. The mental gymnastics that they and the other guy on CNN are going through to try and describe this is really, it's funny, I think, because of what happened 48 hours before, where they were making a big deal out of trash, and then literally the same thing happened.
Kamala's come out and disowned it now. She's, I think, realised no amount of media cover is going to limit the damage. So she's distanced herself. Is Joe Biden doing this on purpose? Is he trying to hurt the Harris campaign?
This is a question. Who knows what's in his mind? You know, it could be sabotage. It could be letting the mask slip, which is what the other side is making hay of. You know, we started with the basket of deplorables, which was an inflection point in Hillary's campaign, to fascists and garbage. And maybe there is some real belief there as well.
Well, this is what I just don't understand.
Yo, he don't even know he should be like dancing right now.
Anybody could question that this is how Democrats and the left see Republicans, see Trump supporters, because we just heard days of them characterising people who attended the rally at Madison Square Garden as being fascist, supporting some sort of...
Hey, let's make everybody... Hey, subscribe to the channel, Thug Life. Subscribe to the channel right now. Let's get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. Let's make the haters mad. Like the video. Push the video out to the public. Shout out. We got 68,000 views on this video. Push the video out. Shout out to my fiance with the $2 donation. Said I would marry Rita. She's one smart woman. She married though, bro. I think she married, bro. But yeah, she's smart.
Nazi rally.
But that's good for you, my fiance. You like intelligence. You see what I'm saying? She is very intelligent.
So if you think people are Nazis and fascists and white supremacists, well, of course you think they're garbage if that's for your worldview. And I think this is why they're having such trouble hiding this or trying to...
Shout out to Squeaky for subscribing.
They put themselves in a box because they want to say that he's Hitlerian and fascist, but then simultaneously say his supporters aren't. I think Bret Baier had asked Kamala specifically, like, oh, why are millions, tens of millions of people supporting him? Do you think they're stupid? And she didn't take that bait. She said, no, I would never say that about American people. And now she's in a box where she has to admit it.
Yeah, shout out to Colin Radley, one of big contributors to the channel, with the 199 said, you see where Kamala got booed off stage? Yeah, I didn't see her get booed off stage. I seen her get booed though.
The mainstream media in the US may be waking up to reality. An anonymous TV exec has told the New York Magazine that, and I quote, if half the country has decided that Trump is qualified to be president, that means they're not reading any of this media, and we've lost this audience completely. A Trump victory means mainstream media is dead in its current...
Yo, hold up. Are you talking about this one? Shout out to my girl Rita, man.
So, North Carolina, I am asking for your vote. I am asking for your vote. And here is my pledge to you. As your president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions.
Where are the men at? Y'all know, like, where is the men? Says, watch Kamala Harris interrupted by hecklers during rally in North Carolina. You said Michigan? I said North Carolina. Oh my God, is it hecklers? Michigan rally. That was 2 days ago.
People from all walks of life, and they are calling for a new generation of leadership that is optimistic and excited about what we can do together. There is a yearning in our country for a president who will see you, who gets you and who will fight for you.
Yeah, and the person's name is Donald Trump. We gonna finish it, but that's who. That's who will fight for everybody. Donald Trump.
And listen, hey, on the subject of Gaza, hey guys, I hear you. On the subject of Gaza, we all want this war to end as soon as possible and get the hostages out, and I will do everything in my power to make it so.
Even though you literally didn't do anything. Like, even though y'all literally have been in power for 4 years and it's still, man, come on, bro.
And let's be clear, we are all here because we are fighting for a democracy and for the right of people to be heard and seen.
I don't think, hold on. Speech is interrupted by protests and yelling, no more Gaza war.
Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win.
And then Jamaica with the $5 donation said, I know how much you love Rita. Did you see her dancing on Lefties Losing It while she's wearing the red blazer? Fire. Shout out, fam. Big up. Shout out to you, bro. Bro, if me and Rita was ever single, I might ask her out for coffee, bro. I'm a thug life. I might. Yo, is Forbes left wing? Because they trying their best not to show her being booed.
Because together, and this is about all of us, we are fighting for America's future. And we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear
She put her hands up like. Shout out to Mafioso with the $2 donation. People cheering for Kamala. Bunch of sheep. Crazy. I just think some people are just not, they're just excited to see a woman running. They may not know like who that she's the part of the reason there's a lot of wars going on. You know what I mean? She's in that administration. Biden's not a strong leader. It's just what it is.
Opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear
I feel bad for her right there. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, cause I don't like to see anybody in that situation though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not voting for her, but people got a right to speak up. But you could tell she's like really flustered. You know what I mean? And really kind of just like messed up right there.
together, and this is about all of us. We are fighting for America's future. And we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear
You know that bothered her. You know that bothered her.
Form. Now, this was actually, Kosher, part of a piece that was lamenting the leftist media's declining influence in American politics. It was a pretty terrible piece, if you ask me, but that bit of insight was very good indeed. And it's accurate because people have lost faith in the media, and there's surveys that show that trust in the media in the US is at historic lows. Only 1 in 10 Republicans have any faith in the mainstream media, and a really tiny number, less than 3 in 10, independence. And I think
I know
that's
by
what's
one-
really hurting the Democrats.
Yes, the surveys are there. I think it's lower than Congress. Their approval rating, people talk about, which tells you something.
Bro, remember where Brett Baer, shout out to Brett Baer, he showed Kamala Harris like 79% of Americans think the country is heading in the wrong direction. And she had to sit there and look at the polls like, bro, it's like, it's nothing you can say at that point.
Less than 1 week
Shout out
until
to
election
Brett Baer. He's about to show you the polls.
day, and new Fox polls are showing how voters feel in critical
Mr. Ism, shout out to you for subscribing. Said we are frustrated.
states. As we told you at the top of the show, our new polls, President Trump is ahead of Vice President Harris in Pennsylvania and North Carolina by 1 point. It's a dead heat head-to-head in Michigan. The matchup among likely
likes if y'all
voters
can.
here, and all three of these
All
are
the hearts.
within the margin of error. Now, that brings us to tonight's 50 races in 50 days. We take a
But when you look at like, and this is just me being like completely real, right? If you look at the like to dislike ratios, like in the programs that people have, which could be like photoshopped or whatever, like some of the interviews that she has, like the dislikes are insane. You know what I mean? Because I will say this, I'm gonna put this out there, like YouTube doesn't allow you to see the dislikes anymore, but some people have programs that will enable them to be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but it looks like that interview she did with Shannon Sharp got a lot of dislikes, you know, and then you got to think, I think it just went up like 1.2 million, 1.3 million views on that. Whereas the Joe Rogan interview with Donald Trump, I'm like, where is that? Where is that one at? Let me see. Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan said it was hard to find in a search engine. So I think they had to like fix it because people were having a problem with finding it. So now you can find it. So 41 million views in 5 days. And this lady is getting like barely a million views on Charlemagne the God. And you know what I'm saying? A little bit over a million views on Shannon Sharp. And this who's got, but there is no, and you look at his social media presence, he's got True Social that he's on. He's got Twitter, enormous following. You know what I mean? Even that, like Elon Musk, enormous following. There is no way that this lady is neck and neck with this guy. I don't believe it. You know what I mean? Mafioso with the $2 donation said Rita's accent. Oh my God, I love me some Rita. Colin Radley with the $1.99 said, oh, he said, he's talking to LC. He said, you still using the Obama phone. Oh, crazy.
A closer look at North Carolina. Now, recovery from Hurricane Helene is still ongoing, but that has not stopped more than 3.1 million North Carolinians from voting early. Barack Obama flipped the state of North Carolina for the first time in 2008, the first time that flipped blue since 1976. But since this time, it has consistently voted Republican in every presidential race since, which brings us to take a look at the presidential races and specifically North Carolina. If we go back to 2016, you can see that Mr. Trump wins the state against Hillary Clinton by nearly 4 points. Over the last 10 years, North Carolina has added roughly 1.1 million people, many of them in suburban counties such as Wake County. This is where Raleigh is. As we go in here, we can see Hillary Clinton out.
No, I mean, they're being fair. Look, because Trump was down like 37.9%. She was at 58.4% within that area.
Outperformed
2016.
then candidate Trump by 20 points in Wake County. The pandemic brought even more wealthy urban Americans from surrounding states, making Wake County more of a toss-up. And as we look at 2020 in Wake County, you can see that
Yo, I never even heard of Wake County. Have y'all, hey, chat, have y'all heard of Wake County? I've never even heard of Wake County, bro.
President Biden expands the margin in that particular suburban county, winning by 26 points. However, that did not produce a win for him. He closed the gap in the state, but not enough to win it. Now, if we take a look at our path to 270, the electoral votes needed to win the White House, the what-if scenarios here, these are the battleground states, the toss-ups in yellow. These battleground states on election night will determine how this goes. Now, we've said that former President Trump is in the lead in North Carolina, so we'll give him North Carolina.
Y'all stop playing with me. Hit the hearts. Wait a minute. Subscribe to the channel. We on the draw. We trying to get 100,000 subscribers. Let's make all the haters mad. Thug Life. Hit the subscribe button. Like the video. It is what it is. It's Halloween. Help!
For the third time. And based on our new Fox Power rankings we reported yesterday, we'll go ahead and give him Arizona as well. Michigan is tied in our new poll, but Vice President Harris has a slight edge in the recent polls in Michigan. So we'll give her Michigan for this scenario, as well as Nebraska's 2nd district. That goes Democrat as well. Pennsylvania, right now, has it going to former President Trump, since he's ahead there in our latest numbers by 1%. So that leaves Georgia.
Let me see what it really is. Let me look. Because, you know, he said margin of error. I want to see what it really is. Let's see. Who is ahead in the polls right now? Let me see. We almost on it. I go either way. It says Harris is winning right now. Let me check another one. Shout out to Jamaica with the $2 donation. Check your DM, brethren. Love the content, big bro. All right, I'm gonna check it in 1 second. All right, let's see. Some people got Harris up.
Wisconsin and Nevada. Now Harris would need to win all 3 of these states in order to get to 270 to win the presidency. But Mr. Trump, former president, would need to just win 1 to regain the White House. So let's say Nevada goes red and then he crosses the line. This is 5 days to go. It's still anybody's race. Vice President Harris campaigned this afternoon in North Carolina and Pennsylvania. She'll be in Wisconsin later this evening as she tries to distance herself from a comment made by President Biden last night in which he referred to Trump supporters as garbage. Tried to walk it back today.
Shout out to Brett Baer for mentioning that.
If this is your...
All right, let's shout out to Piers Morgan. Let's see what he got to say. Oh, he's got Chink on there? All right.
Final argument last night. She chose the ellipse in Washington, D.C. And again, the argument was more about how awful Donald Trump is than about how good she is. In fact, she mentioned Trump.
Hey, did y'all see... Hey, before we get into this, did y'all see Sarah Palin going off? Hold on, let me... She was calling dude Maddie. She was like, "You're a liar. You're a liar. You lie. You're a liar. You're obnoxious." She was going off, bro. Let's listen to this.
So hold on, Trump added more to the debt than any previous president.
I'm going to give you an example.
If we're just going to do 4 years.
Look at
Please
the inflation rate.
Yep.
Look, go into a grocery store, see what it costs to buy a dozen eggs, to buy a pound of butter, to fuel up your truck. All these things.
But look at the polls. But look at the polls, by the way, which show the 2 biggest issues for American voters in this election by far
We're not better
are the
off
economy,
today.
cost of living, and immigration. And that is why, if Trump ends up winning, it will be on those 2 issues.
We agree for the first time in the show. I agree with you that the polling is bad on the economy. The Americans, the vibes are bad on the economy.
We're not better
But the
off
point
today.
Destiny made just now is that facts also matter. So, you know, I thought it was a conservative line, facts don't care about your feelings. I don't care that Americans feel bad about the economy. The numbers are very clear. Every economist says the same thing. Every survey shows the same thing. Real wages are actually higher today than they were in September 2020. They are. Real wages are higher. Real wages, you know what real wages are? What do you mean not facts?
She's never been a good debater, though.
Real wages facts.
Because he's about to cook her. We're going to go back to Piers Morgan in a second. But he about to cook her. Is she going to lose her cool? Like, watch this.
Factoring inflation, Sarah Palin.
No.
That's what real wages are. Factoring inflation,
Exactly.
real wages are higher
Factoring-
today
and no,
than
they're
in
not.
September
No, they're
2020. In fact, wages have outstripped prices for the last 20 straight months. Household net worth is at a record high. Unemployment is at a 50-year low. We now have 6 million fewer people
So
unemployed.
why do the vast majority of
Trump was
Americans feel
president.
worse off?
Sorry?
Are they all lying about
I think
being worse
inflation
off?
took a toll, huge toll.
So they are worse off.
But the inflation's now down, right?
No,
We're at the
but
lowest inflation rate since
are they
February
worse off
2021.
then?
No, because now real wages
They're
are
not.
up.
You just
No.
said you inferred they were.
Shout out to Sandra.
First of all, again, I agree that Americans are upset about prices. I'm upset about prices. But it was a global problem, was it not? Did you not just say the pandemic was a global problem?
Why would they
was
be
inflation not a global problem?
Why would they be upset about prices if they're not worse off?
Because they
Prices
were
is one
in,
factor.
hold on, in 2022.
And why are people trying to say he's conservative? Like, this dude be thinking blue, bro.
When we hit record high levels of inflation, if I'd sat on your show
So they
then,
still feel worse off today.
We still have that inflation. It's cumulative. It's year over year. It adds
So they
up.
are worse off
Hold
then.
on, Piers.
No, that's one factor. Prices are just one thing. Wages are another thing. Net worth is another thing.
I already conceded. Do people feel worse off? Yes, but the numbers say something else.
So
Do you understand?
they're
there's
all
a difference?
completely deluded.
Yeah, people not deluded, but people. You think the public know everything about everything?
Underestimating the wisdom of the people.
There's polling on this. You can look at the YouGov polls. You can see. You can see.
Been, by the way, since Joe Biden was
I think the
running for
Republican
office,
Party
and this
itself
has,
is all about.
all right. So this has actually been the official Democratic line, which is that this is a great economy. They were saying this back this summer when Joe Biden.
Donald Turner is a subscriber. He said, yeah, because my... All right, so Donovan said, what amazes me is not one person in here knows what a contingent election is. And then Daniel Turner said, yeah, because my rent just went up. My rent was at $650 and now it's $750.
Biden was in. It's a great economy. All of the numbers show it. All of the economists say it. But there's this problem where people just don't agree.
They
and
don't
people
understand.
are so stupid.
Hold on,
that
they don't
think
know.
that-
They're
just
actually
hold on, just
better
give me
off.
one second. Let me get a sentence out here. Listen, as you guys kind of just alluded to there, look, the problem with inflation is that it is cumulative. And so even though the inflation rate has come down,
prices
that's
are
just
still going up.
adding to the prices.
Correct.
And people have been absolutely destroyed over the last 3.5 years over this price inflation. It is literally everybody I know has felt the pressure of it. Even people who make like really good money. It's
Hold on,
been
let me read some of these in here. Somebody said this will be the first one. Kevin said, Kevin the cheerleader laughing like a I can't say that, man. Somebody said this will be the first one. His calculator must be broke. Diddycrats. So what does this have to do with anything, bro? FEMA is out of funding, billions going overseas every month. People can't afford rent in Cali and a lot of other places. Great economy. And then Donovan says, but when he calls it out in a week, you're going to sit back and say, how did Donovan know that? Huh? Donovan is trying his best to control conversation. JJ Shoddy said, nobody cares about you or what you're saying. Dupree says $650 for rent. Where do you live at? Yeah, that's cheap, bro. My mortgage is $1,417. And then Daniel Turner said, you can notice when she's about to lose her cool. Yeah, she about to go off, bro.
difficult. I do not.
Frank Vrooman said, how many contingent elections have you been in, Donovan? Ain't that like when nobody reaches 270 votes or something like that? I think they were talking about that on Fox.
I think this is something that is at the lays at the feet of one party or the other. The truth is that Donald Trump in the year 2020, when not all Trump, but his government locked down the economy and added $6 trillion to the money supply in the year 2020. That was going to result in some price inflation. Biden then in 2021 came in. They kept the money printing going.
But it was
they
also
kept
a global
the
issue,
government.
Dave. You accept
I'm
it.
not denying there was inflation problems around the globe. I'm saying we're talking about America right now. This is something that is now the politics of it are that the actual price inflation pretty much all fell on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's watch, and that's very difficult to get yourself out
Can
from
I just say
under.
one point about this thing about you say about facts and feelings? I can prove to you that Americans are not doing this as some kind of rational calculation. I can prove it to you. If the Americans people really cared about inflation and prices, that's their number one issue, then they would vote Harris. Because every single economist, 95% of economists, according to a University of Chicago survey, say they will pay higher in tariffs. Tariffs will bring up inflation. Every serious economist in this country...
You're missing...
No, Piers, you're missing the point. Because if inflation is your number one issue...
my point.
Because you let me finish mine, you jumped in. If inflation is their number one issue, then they should be voting for Harris. Okay. That proves that inflation's not their top issue.
Here's the problem. The problem is that the reality of the inflation issue, as you've all basically admitted, is that inflation, by very definition, is increasing prices even if the rate comes down. So Americans are paying consistently, month by month by month, for the entire Biden-Harris administration. They're paying more when they go to the grocery store.
But their wages have gone up too, Piers. This is a key part of economics.
He's like, Mehdi's actually right too. Like the wages did go up a little bit. Like I think what Mehdi is trying to say to everybody, I don't want to agree with him, but he's just like, yo, but wages are going up. Like it may not be going up as much as you want it to go up, but wages are technically going up. He's actually right about that.
The real wages have gone up.
But the vast
That's what
majority of working class people in America
Their wages have gone up.
It's just the way Mehdi be saying things. You like, but he is right though.
they feel worse off. And that is going to... ultimately, it's going to resonate.
We're kind
at the
of
ballot
not really
box.
disagreeing. At the very beginning, I said I take your point about feelings.
Yeah.
I'm just saying facts show that they're better off. If you want to answer the question to Trump asked honestly, people are better off
Okay,
today.
let's turn to war, because that should calm down the debate. Destiny, look.
But because inflation has affected prices so much and prices are so high, even though wages went up a little bit, it's not like getting close to touching like inflationary, like the outcome of inflation.
Obviously, it's a pretty consequential election in many ways, but not least, I would argue, for the fate of people in Gaza and Ukraine and other hotspots around the world. Where are we with these? I mean, it's quite interesting to me that for the first time I can remember, you have a body of Republicans
Sean
who do
said
not
if wages
want to
double,
back,
prices
say, Ukraine against a Russian dictator that illegally invaded their country. I remain very perplexed and surprised that is the view. And Sarah, we can come to you for why that may be. But that is the case. If Trump was to win, he says he'll fix it all in 24 hours. I don't think he will, but he will try and do a deal. The question is, what is that deal? Because Ukraine are saying they're not going to give up an inch of the land.
So the issue is that Donald Trump is a 4-year-old when it comes to understanding any really.
The liberal starts with a direct insult first. Donald Trump's a 4-year-old. Like, come on, bro. You're wearing like 12-year-old clothes. Chill out. You're on the Piers Morgan show wearing that. Your hair is all... You didn't even go to Best Cuts or nothing to get a shit. Like, this dude, bruh. He got the most immature outfit calling somebody a 4-year-old.
Any issue, but especially foreign policy. And a lot of people have this, they're obsessed with this idea of peace in their mind, which if you're in conflict, peace is the furthest thing from your mind. You want some kind of just peace or justice, right? So Trump's solution for Ukraine is just give up the land that's been taken from you and everything will be kosher, just like Russia did in Moldova with Transnistria, just like Russia did with South Ossetia, and I can't even pronounce the other place in Georgia, and just like Russia's trying to do now with Ukraine. If you're somebody that wants, justice for Ukraine, or you want the United States to
turn it back and say, yeah, but hang on.
Truthfully speaking, with the $4.99 donation, say Harris drained people's savings with inflation, and now they're going down while people are drained. I mean, that's pretty much what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, prices are crazy. And you got to also think, right, with inflation, like, people may have been, like, adding on to their homes. People may have wanted to buy different, you know what I mean? Like, buy things at the store, Home Depot, like prices, everything was just through the roof, bro. And like you said, like they're draining people's bank accounts. Like, even if you needed a car within that 4 years of their administration, you were going to have a problem. Like, even if you had like an 800 credit score, you're still going to pay like ridiculous prices and interest rates. So they caused a lot of issues, bro.
What about the rhetoric from your side?
So give me the rhetoric. I want to hear
Hitler, the Nazis, the Madison Square Garden is 19...
And then now the CNN is trying to like call Trump like Hitler, and they're doing the most. And you got to think, like, there's been 2 attempts on Trump. Y'all want to be doing this? Like, putting this into people's minds, CNN? Like, what are y'all doing? I think they ended up removing him from CNN, allegedly. That's the rumor that's going on. But I think one of the ladies came on, she was just like, yo, we would like to have him back, but for whatever reason, like, he's not back. Mehdi.
We've done this before in July.
Literally, Hillary Clinton just said this was 1939 all over again. The rally. A Nazi-style rally. She's calling Trump supporters
I do think it's a Nazi-style rally.
Yes, you do. So you do think he's the new Hitler?
Hold on. A Nazi-style rally does not mean you're the new Hitler.
What does it mean?
By the way,
what does
Trump,
it mean?
Hold on, you do this every time. Trump called
the
Biden.
The Nazis were his party.
Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
Huh?
Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
What's that got to do with it?
I'm asking the question. Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
I'm asking you. If it's a Nazi rally, why is he not the new Hitler?
Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
Who's running these new Nazis?
Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
What's it got to do with it?
I'm asking you a question. Do you think Joe Biden is the Gestapo?
I'm asking the questions. It's my debate.
Well, okay. Well, then let me just point out to you.
Answer my question first.
I will. Joe Biden was called the Gestapo by Trump. I've never heard you criticize Trump for calling Biden Nazi. Why?
I thought we weren't supposed to do whataboutism.
Yeah. The comic relief.
Completely
Exactly.
By the way, I don't care. I think it's a legitimate point you're making.
By the way, he wasn't in the Gestapo. It's offensive. It's wrong. Okay. So is it equally offensive? But you think it actually genuinely was a Nazi rally?
Do you see the difference between saying that people say
that it was a Nazi style
in terms of the rhetoric that I said?
So
do you think Kamala's antichrist? Do you think Kamala Harris is the antichrist? You can't just ignore the facts.
Let Sarah speak.
Yes, please. Jeez, I feel like I should be your mother and just shut you guys up. I'm not your mother. You're grown men, and I have respect for your ages, if nothing else. But listen, you did just say that it was a Nazi-type rally, meaning Nazi-style rally.
Yeah, meaning people get up and say outrageously.
So who's the leader of this group?
Meaning participants are Nazi-style participants?
I'm saying people are cheering on far-right rhetoric. Do you know what the Great Replacement theory is?
The far right.
Do you know what the Great Replacement theory is?
What
about I trade in facts.
What about all the Jews in the audience that I saw? What about the Israel flags I saw?
Israel flag means what?
Well, they may not be thinking he's
Do you know some of the most far-right politicians in Europe support Israel right now, including card-carrying anti-Semites across
Why
Europe?
would Jewish people go and watch the new Hitler and cheer him up?
Why did a Jewish speaker make lots of anti-immigrant racist remarks? I mean, this is ridiculous. Muslims and Jews. A Muslim guy endorsed Trump on Friday. Does that mean Trump is pro-Muslim? Come on, Piers, you're better than this.
No, I tell you what, you're better than this, because when you say it was a Nazi rally,
I didn't say it was a
Nazi rally.
You did. I didn't actually. I said it was a Nazi-style rally.
When you say the Nazi-style...
Oh, my God. Come on, Mehdi. You are bugging. And he's kind of radical. I seen him at the podium. They kind of was exposing him like a couple days ago. I was just looking to see if y'all was talking about anything. Looks like y'all talking to each other.
You're calling Trump Hitler.
Let me repeat myself. I'm repeating myself.
Sandra said wages are going up. Prices of everything is going up.
I'm saying that I listened to a rally at which people said things that Nazis said. Do you deny that Joseph Goebbels talked about enemy of the people, that enemy within is a Hitler line?
Anyone who uses the phrase enemy of the people is a Nazi.
Not anyone. When Trump consistently uses...
Yeah, that's what Betty is trying to say. He's trying to correlate the two. Like, why are you conflating all of this, Mr. Mehdi? Aren't you like an academic? Aren't you smart? Like, why are you doing this?
Trump language, Hitler language, when he says poisoning the blood of the immigrants. Was that coincidence as well? Even after he was told that's only from Mein Kampf, and he said it again. Was that a coincidence?
But it was a Nazi rally to you.
Was that a coincidence?
Y'all can't hit that like button. I don't see y'all putting the hearts up there. Subscribe to the chat. Can your boy get 100,000 subscribers? Stop playing with me, Thug Life. We got an election coming up. Stop playing. Hit the like button. Where the hearts at? I seen one. Hit it again. Shout out.
No, it was a Nazi-style rally. People said absolutely neo-Nazi
So these
things.
people are capable
Piers,
of
you just want to
perpetrating
get
a
a
Holocaust.
gotcha line, and I want you to do with facts. Is a Great Replacement theory Nazi theory or not? No. Sorry, facts matter. You can't just say, I'm going to ask you about headline
You're
pictures.
missing my overall point, which is this.
It's not my fault that
My
you don't
point is that
understand what happened
you two
yesterday.
are very exercised about the...
I'm exercised by the fact that you don't deal in facts, Piers. The Great Replacement
let me get a
theory.
word in.
No. Great Replacement theory is a neo-Nazi theory.
He said, let me get a word in. He was like, nope.
Address that. I can't continue this conversation.
Right, let me come to Sarah I want to move to a different thing, because you're not going to address the fact you think
You
they're
don't
Nazis.
know what the Great Replacement
You think
theory
they're a
is.
bunch of Nazis, but
Can I
don't
just
really want to say
say
it.
that watches both of your shows. I love watching you guys do this to each other, because watching you guys do it to other people is infuriating, and when you guys go to each other, it's very funny. So
Stop being a little immature person, bro. Let them act like a 4-year-old. Let them talk.
It is true, though. You don't deal in fact when you talk about Trump, though. I agree.
Shout out to Bruce K.
What's the Great Replacement theory?
Subscribe, Michelle. Shout out to Andrew.
I know the Great Replacement theory. I don't agree with the Great Replacement theory.
Yeah, Virginia Hobby, I think you're right, said the guy is a radical Muslim. Listen to some of his older videos. Yeah, I think it was Devore Darkins ended up like showing some of his videos, and I was like, whoa, like this dude is in America. Like he was talking wild, bruh. So like him, like his stances are deep rooted. I'll say that.
So why was it echoed by Tucker Carlson and Don Jr. yesterday at the rally?
But I don't agree with it. What do you want me to say?
So yeah, he said replace. Yes, Don Jr. was speaking. He said replace the immigrants coming to replace us.
Grant said 100% correct. No pressure power washer, but no one thinks like that. No one thinks ahead mathematically. Robert Pounder said, how did the little weird what? Somebody said, oh, you talking about him? I don't know.
Trump was on a softball.
Yo, Donovan Valentine said the economy is booming right now.
Question by Sean Hannity, and he said he'd be a dictator on day
Well,
one.
let me ask you
Hannity
about.
was teeing him up
Okay,
for a softball
all right,
question.
but let me ask you about illegal immigration then, Destiny. So we've seen an unbelievably large number of illegal immigrants come in during the Biden-Harris administration. Do you think this is right for America?
I don't think that Republicans think that illegal immigration is a problem right now. In fact, I'm 100% confident.
That wasn't my
of
question.
He said, I don't think that the Republicans think that illegal immigration is a problem right now. Did that dude just say that? Did y'all hear that? Yo, we got 28,214 subscribers in the past 3 weeks. Shout out to everybody, man, subscribing. We trying to get this channel to 100,000. Y'all, I mean, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is my own, like, YouTube history. Y'all are, like, being a part of it. I appreciate y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to remember y'all. You know, thug life. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Under 100,000 y'all's in here rocking with me. I appreciate that. So, but we on our way. You know what I mean? I don't know when we going to hit it, but eventually we going to hit it.
So do you think it's right that between 7 and 10 million people
The reality
have
is,
come in illegally?
here are two facts that nobody will ever
is it
talk about.
right?
Here are two, I'll tell you, here are two facts that we do not have a problem right now with illegal immigration in the United States. We have a problem with asylum seeking, okay? That's the...
He does not think we have a problem with illegal immigration in the United States. Should we fast forward him? He cannot be serious saying that. They've all admitted that there's a problem with illegal immigration.
Number one, that's a huge thing. But number two, if this was such a huge problem, why were Republicans so content to pull the plug on it when Donald Trump said, I need to leave the border open for me to run on this as an election issue? You know what that tells me? That tells me it was never really a problem in the first place. It was just a talking point.
It's Trump's fault.
Trump, what is he talking about? He don't even know that. Yo, what? Piers Morgan, did you set him up? Like, he doesn't even know the border was under control before Biden-Harris. He doesn't even know that. He literally doesn't even know that.
Definitionally. Wait. I gotta hear this. Do you understand? Do you agree that Donald Trump was the one that told them to pull the plug on the bill?
He said so.
Well, I don't
Oh, okay, now I see what he's saying. Okay, all right.
Do you agree that Donald Trump
Because I was about to fast forward him. He's saying, like, you know, Trump is using his influence to stop them from putting together, you know, like, comprehensive reform, like, on the border. But, you know, like, I think what they're trying to do is, like, put pork in the bill for their friends. And that's why the bill is not being, like, passed. Like, why didn't y'all just leave it alone when it was there? Like, if Kamala Harris would have came to the American people like, look, I know you guys are thinking that, you know, we're opening up the borders, but this was what actually happened. We went and we read through Trump's border policies or what he was trying to do, and it's this and this and this, and this is not for America. This is not for America. This is not, you know what I'm saying? And just try to villainize, like, his policies or his executive orders. If they would have done that, like, then people will probably be looking at this border crisis a little bit differently. Like, well, they had to undo it to kind of, like, fix some things and rearrange it to try to put it back in. You know what I'm saying? Do something. But they don't even want to admit that they ended up opening the floodgates. So I guess, I mean, they wouldn't do that. And then they probably couldn't find anything wrong with his executive orders. They just overturned them. But I think it's CPT Whackbeard said exactly, Piper Boy, is too much pork. And, you know, earmarks and things like that could be in there. Like, we don't know, bruh. You know, when they get a bill, it's like this thick. It's like a big file that's like this thick, like book. You know, so we think like, oh, it's like a little bill like this thick. Y'all can't just pass that little bill. No, that's not what I've seen bills. You know what I mean? Like, it'll take you like an hour to print out a bill if you got a fast printer. Like, that's how much they put. And then these congressmen have to read through everything, you know, and they try to, these are lawyers. So they're going to put legalese in there and try to put things in there to where you don't know or you can't see that they're helping their friends. So people catch what they do and like, no, we can't pass this. If y'all want to just shore up the border or, you know, close the floodgates, just put Trump's policy through, like another, you know what I mean, executive order, his policies through, just like he did. and then just put your name on it, Democrats. You know what I'm saying? And then it would go through, and they'd be like, oh, well, y'all don't want this bill to go through, but y'all allowed him to do whatever he wanted to do. Like, then you would have more of an argument, but I don't even think they could do that.
Do not vote yes on this bill.
I can try and answer.
Okay.
I don't think he should have been active in getting that bill pulled because it would have helped. However, and I want to bring Sarah in on this, you cannot dispute there is a massive crisis at the southern border. Nor can you dispute.
I'm shocked that you say that Republicans don't believe that the influx of illegal aliens across our borders is not a problem.
Why
it is a problem.
bill?
It is a problem, and I think
Why did like, bro? We literally just went over. It's probably a lot of pork in the. This dude, like, let's be real. He's a liberal. He probably didn't sit down to read the bill. He probably doesn't know what's in that bill. He just wants to argue for blue. That's what he's there for. He doesn't know why they pull the bill. Did you read the bill? That's what she should have came back to him. Did you read the bill? But then he couldn't be like, did you read the bill? You know, but I think it's a lot of pork or whatever that's in the bill. That's what I think.
Not just Republicans who recognize that. Look at even the Democrat leaders of cities who are being overrun, their budgets being busted, trying to support the
and they all
illegals
supported the
who are
bill. They
coming
supported
in.
the bill.
Do you not think blaming Trump for everything though is a bit lame?
I'm talking about
They were ready to vote for the bill, and then Trump said, "Don't do it."
Let me bring in
Cruz, Langford, all these.
We got 104,000 views on this video. Shout out to all y'all that's been hitting the likes, hitting the hearts. Double tap the screen if y'all can. That's helping. Shout out to y'all.
People said we were going to vote for the bill, and then Trump pulled the plug on it.
Where you've not said one critical thing about Donald Trump since it started.
Actually, what I was going to say to you before I got shouted over yet again on my own show, what I was going to say to you was,
I thought it was going to be Dave and Sarah versus me and Destiny, but apparently it's me and Destiny versus Sarah and Piers.
You always like to do this, and it's not true.
I've not heard you say one critical thing about Trump.
When Trump was president, I wrote 110 columns for the Daily Mail.
Yeah, he did. A lot of people said he was too critical on Trump, and they're like, yo, how can he even be a conservative if he's taking these stances? That did happen. I remember he got a lot of flack in the media about that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Piers Morgan. So yeah, he is kind of G-checking this dude like now. Like, yo, I done wrote columns being critical. Like, I don't want to hear that.
Trump. When he left, I counted negative, positive. It was about a 50-50.
Great, but not today.
So I have been very, very critical of Trump.
Matty is a kid, bro. He's like, but not today.
And I felt he's deserved it. Well, no, because I find that with you and with Jesse, with great respect to you guys, you absolutely love sticking it to him. When I try and stick it back to your own problems with your own party, you don't want to hear it.
Hey, Piers, I can assure you I wish that I hadn't heard a bunch of racist stuff last night. I'm just coming on the show to say I heard a bunch of racist stuff last night.
Dave, let me ask you this, Dave. Trump's most powerful part of his speech last night was his first line, where he said, let me start by just saying this. How many of you feel better off than you did 4 years ago? And they all do any of you? And they all shouted no. I can imagine millions of Americans at home who've had an extremely tough 4 years because of massive inflation and huge cost of living problems would all be shouting no as well. That, in the end, I suspect will win Trump the election. Nothing else. I suspect it's actually going to be, well, it'll be the failure to control the border, but it will be predominantly that people feel they are worse.
Yeah, they had more money at the end of the day, is what it was.
Worse off than they were 4 years ago.
Well, I think the thing that really undercuts this pitch from Donald Trump is that he really means 5 years ago. You know, like Donald Trump has to run on the first 3 years of his administration and then go, hey, that whole 2020 thing really doesn't count because, like, we got hit with this virus and the Democrats would have done the same thing.
Is it unreasonable, that position? Given it was a global pandemic.
Well, it is, yes and no.
Given by common consent, America performed better than most countries. In the pandemic.
Well, it depends on how you measure.
It's just fundamentally untrue.
It totally depends on how you measure.
Economically, it is believed America performed better than most countries.
We also recovered better.
Yeah, we recovered better than most countries.
Doesn't get credit for that.
Jeez, guys. I mean, I know it's like a week before an election, man, and everything's just got to get down to this tribal. Like, we got to win this point, man. But just for a second, I will say that it's like, look, on one hand, what Donald Trump benefits from is the fact that the entire Democratic criticism of Donald Trump through 2020 was just that he didn't do more lockdowns and do more, you know what I mean? Like, and so they kind of don't get to say it, but he also doesn't really get. The truth is, 4 years ago from today, a lot of Americans were worse off than they are right now because they were recovering from lockdowns. There were people whose businesses were shut down.
That's why he said from the start of the administration.
In my opinion, if Donald Trump had been a great leader, had actually risen to the moment he was called to, and had gotten Fauci off that task force, and had been against lockdowns,
and shout out to Robert Kennedy, he put Fauci on blast. He was just like, yo, like if those jab companies are still in circulation and there's still people are getting that. He said that Fauci gets $150,000 a year for the rest of his life. Not only does he get $150,000 a year for the rest of his life, his kids get paid for the rest of their lives. So that was the deal that Fauci had. This is what Robert Kennedy said on the Dr. Phil show. We reacted to it on this channel, right? I didn't say it. Robert Kennedy said it. After he said that, they went in on Robert Kennedy. The Democrats started to turn on him. And, he had like some questions about, like, yo, why are y'all fact checking Trump in the presidential debate, but not, fact checking Kamala Harris? Like he had like some issues with that. But, Fauci should have been removed, in my opinion.
Somewhat of liberty going through that year, he'd be in a much.
But y'all remember, like Donald Trump was like, yo, just take hydrochloroquine, vitamin C, and just, if you want to wear your mask, protect yourself, whatever. He didn't want to shut down the country. He's a businessman. Like, that's not what he wanted to do. But the pressure was on. They're like, oh, you're not going to shut down the country. You're not going to shut. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it really was, bro.
Stronger position
the irony, Mehdi?
To say that.
The irony is that Trump in the pandemic actually behaved like a good old-fashioned authoritarian, and you lot screamed it wasn't authoritarian enough.
Well, listen, I will say, I do think, well, maybe not you. There were certainly a lot of people who were critical of that.
Fundamentally on Fauci, of course. But that's a different
sure, but that's a separate point. Now, for Donald Trump, what he can kind of get at is that, the first 3 years of his administration certainly were much better times for many Americans. I would say this, however, I think in some ways Donald Trump is fortunate that he didn't win the election in 2020, because those years were going to be very tough years for the country. And now the Democrats
had the fastest growing economy in the G7.
Yes, depending on how you want to measure these things, I think they've been very difficult.
Consent, I think is the word.
Man, you guys just are.
It doesn't matter if you wear a suit, if you're rich. Like, if you're immature, you're just gonna be immature. He is very immature right now. He's like, I gotta get my point.
Like, impossible.
We're trying to sneak so many bullshit facts. The United States is doing better than every OECD country, than every G7 country when it comes to inflation, and then you try to blame it on Biden.
I said one thing. No, it didn't. Destiny, I'm actually not trying to blame it on Biden. If you listen to what I said whoever was going to be in there was going to have. But that's what you hear. Because
even the things that you
can I win the point?
No, it's not about winning the point. Even when you say people were mad about Trump for not being an authoritarian enough, that's not true. People were mad about Trump because, one, he denied that COVID was even in the country for days or weeks until it was finally evident that we had to say something about it. And then two, Donald Trump undermined his own health administration so much that the one thing that he wished he could take credit for that he tried to, which was warp speed for the vaccine, he couldn't even do it because his electorate wouldn't even believe that vaccines work.
Hang on, let me bring in Sarah.
Thank you.
Let me bring in Sarah.
You were making a point based on Trump's opening lines, right? And I think you were going to make an interesting point, but you were interrupted.
The factual world draws us back so much, I know.
You mumbled an answer, though, when he said Trump asked the audience, are you better off today than you were? And you said, well, no.
They are better off today.
You're saying we are better off today?
Yeah, I know facts
really?
Don't matter
The
to you,
$33 trillion debt that we are, the trajectory of this debt, too, is going the wrong direction.
So hold on, Trump added more to the debt than any previous president.
I'm going to give you an example.
If we're just going to do 4 years.
Look at the inflation rate.
Yep.
Go into a grocery store, see what it costs to buy a dozen eggs, to buy a pound of butter, to fuel up your truck. All these things.
But look at the polls. But look at the polls, by the way, which show the two biggest issues for American voters in this election.
What are you talking about? Hold on. Somebody in the comments said, I love to. You said I love to hear somebody chew. It's like listening to someone chew loudly. Okay, all right.
By far,
we're not better
are the economy, stroke cost of living, and immigration, and that is why if Trump ends up winning, it will be on those two issues.
We agree for the first time in the show. I agree with you that the polling is bad on the economy. That Americans the vibes are bad on the
Then
economy.
we're not better
But the
off
point
today.
Destiny made just now is that facts also matter. So, I thought it was a conservative line, facts don't care about your feelings. I don't care that Americans feel bad about the economy. The numbers are very clear. Every economist says the same thing. Every survey shows.
I don't know if any of you have a real personal connection with those who have been sent to war zones, and then the guys, the gals, they come back different people. They're adversely affected. On a personal level here, I will do whatever I can, and I will support whatever candidate needs support in order to avoid war. Why I will not support Kamala is she doesn't understand, for one.
Wait, hold on.
Straight months. Household net worth is at a record high. Unemployment is at a 50-year low. We now have 6 million fewer people unemployed.
So why do the
than when
vast majority of
than when Trump was
Americans feel
president.
worse off?
Okay, yeah. I
seem
just
to
want to
have
get that part.
embraced and
Not heard yet.
allowed to perpetuate. I'm voting for Trump because I hate war. And I don't know if any of you, I hate that it's the old men who call for wars and they send our young men to go fight those wars for
Right.
them, our young men and our young women. And, all politics are personal. I don't know if any of you have a real personal connection with those who have been sent to war zones. And then the guys, the gals, they come back different people.
Yeah.
They're
PTSD.
adversely affected. On a personal level here, I will do whatever I can, and I will support whatever candidate needs support in order to avoid war. Why I will not support Kamala is she doesn't understand, for one, that inherent link between energy development, energy independence in America, and that inherent link between that and our safety and our sovereignty. And because Kamala and because the Democrat Party has put an end to so much of our exploration, certainly so much of our development of our own natural resources.
Isn't America producing more energy today than we have in all of history?
No, we're not. And
that's not true? We're not?
No, we're not. And
okay.
remember, Kamala and her administration, day one, they stopped pipelines, no more drilling on federal lands.
So,
They
Jen,
did.
so we look
They
up,
did.
America's not producing
They
more energy.
did.
You ran with McCain.
They did.
You said you care about veterans and everything. Did Trump's comments about McCain bother you at all? That Trump prefers people that didn't get captured?
I've never said anything negative about McCain or any.
I didn't ask if you
POW
said it.
or
I asked did
anything
Trump's
else.
comments bother you
So
about that?
anyway,
But
the
when Trump
inherent
made fun of that
link-
Gold Star family for their child, did that bother you?
The
They bother
inherent
me.
link between
I wrote a column
energy-
criticizing him
Because she
heavily
just said
for
she
it.
cares about vets. I had two parents that served in the Air Force. I'm just curious, if you cared about vets, did these comments bother you?
If
When
I
Trump
care
tried to go to
about
Arlington
vets-
and do a photo
if
op
I
there.
care about vets,
Yeah, if
really,
you do, did these comments
really,
bother you?
If I care about
Yes,
vets.
if you cared about vets,
so
I'm asking, do
the
these
inherent
comments bother
link
you?
between energy and prosperity and
It's
energy
going to talk
security.
about whether or not Trump's comments about McCain
You
bother you?
interrupted the point that I was going to make.
Because
You
you're not making
changed
any
the
points. These are
subject,
political
dude.
talking points. Are we running for office in here?
Really, really.
He is so immature. Let her talk. Dog life. Don't be coming over here like trying to like do that immature stuff. Let her talk, bro.
Run for office, by the way. You ran with John McCain, the most
gosh.
warmongering man that we know of. Why
I
did you
did
run
think
with
that
John
was the
McCain?
point to make. No,
What
I
I
just-
did- what I did-
Why did you run with John
That was the
McCain
point.
if you're
To
anti-wars?
make a positive difference in our
But he would have
country.
sent more people to die.
You don't know that.
I do.
You
He
don't
literally
know-
said
you-
bomb, bomb, bomb
Oh,
Iran.
you're-
He sang it.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
he
sang
did,
it.
he did
Prophetic.
campaign.
He campaigned on a war
campaigned
platform.
on 100 years in Iraq.
He campaigned on staying in
You're
Iraq 100
asking
years
why-
and bombing Iran.
You're
by the way.
asking why I accepted the nomination to
I'm just
run
wondering,
for
you're
Vice
sitting
President
here
of the
saying
United States of
you're
America?
against war abroad, and yet I just want to remind younger viewers at home, you ran with the most warmongering senator of my lifetime.
And you're asking why I ran for Vice President of the United States
No,
of
no, I
America?
know why you ran. You wanted power.
well,
I'm just
asked-
saying why you're
you-
not consistent.
you-
And
I mean,
maybe
to be
that's
fair to
pointless
Palin,
question.
Vance accepted the
asked-
nomination, and he said that Trump could be America's next Hitler. So, I mean,
That's
you
true.
know.
Maybe-
All right, why don't we try and be a little fairer to the ex-governor, because she's on her own
was a
here getting
question.
attacked
It was
by
a
three
question.
brutal
And I
males.
wanted
Well,
to
I
talk
think-
about energy and America's
Yeah, finish your
need
point on
What you
that.
said was
for
false about energy. Facts matter too.
and
America has record energy production right now.
No.
It does.
What's
People
false?
can Google it right now
When
and see
I
the gold
said that
standard
on
truth.
day one, what the Biden administration did was halt so much of our exploration
we have record energy
and our
production.
construction of pipelines. And
I'm not a fan of that, by the way. I think we should have less energy production.
You lied.
I'm a critic of
You're a
Biden on his
liar.
energy production.
You're a liar. You lied.
I'm
and
a
you,
liar.
Yes, and you said no, Biden didn't do that. Yes, he did on day one.
Do you know he handed out more licenses than Trump? Do you know that?
I'm making the point that you denied. My point is true.
Destiny said energy's higher, and you said no. So if anyone lied, you did.
Listen.
People can DVR it, they can rewind it and see you saying a false statement.
Let me
to
ask this question.
So you don't
energy
think
production high. Is
you
energy
don't
production
think
higher
that
today?
You don't think that Biden
Is energy
thwarted
production
our
higher under Biden than
exploration?
Trump?
And you just
Is
lied
energy production
and
higher,
said
Sarah Palin? It's a very simple
Biden
question.
didn't
I know
do it.
facts are not your strong point. Is energy production higher today under Biden than under Trump? It's a simple yes or no question.
You're an obnoxious.
Facts hurt, don't you? Facts don't care about your feelings.
Are Americans wrong when they have this feeling? Well, the feelings
I'm
oftentimes are
obnoxious
generated
because I asked
from
you if energy production is higher today than under Trump.
You're
that makes me
obnoxious
obnoxious.
because I'm asking you why you would say that
I mean, I'm
Biden
obnoxious.
didn't thwart.
Yo, what y'all think about that? She is losing her cool with him, bro.
What's
People
false?
can Google it right now
When
and see
I
that you're
said
telling
that
the
on
truth.
day one, what the Biden administration did was halt so much of our exploration
we have record energy
and our
production.
construction of pipelines. And
I'm not a fan of that, by the way. I think we should have less
denied-
energy production.
You lied.
I'm a critic of
You're
Biden
a
on his
liar.
energy production.
You're a liar. You lied.
I'm a
and
liar.
Yes, and you said no, Biden didn't do that. Yes, he did on day one.
Do you know he handed out more licenses to Trump? Do you know that?
I'm making the point that you denied. My point
Wait,
is
it's true.
Destiny said energy's higher, and you said no. So if anyone lied, you did.
Listen.
People can DVR it, they can rewind it and see you
Yo,
saying a false statement.
she has had it. She's like, all right. Like, it's Sarah Palin the thug. Like, the thug came out of her. She got annoyed with dude, bruh. She got annoyed. She got feisty and then she got annoyed. She's like, you're a liar. You lie. You're a liar. You're obnoxious. Like, she is wilding, bro. Hold on. Last time. All right.
Want people to die.
You don't know that.
I do. He
You don't
literally
know-
said bomb, bomb, bomb Iran.
you're-
He sang it.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
he
sang
You're
it.
He did
prophetic.
campaign.
He campaigned on a war
campaigned on
platform.
100 years in Iraq.
He campaigned on staying in
You're
Iraq for 100
asking
years
why-
and bombing Iran.
You're
by the way.
asking why I accepted the nomination to
I'm just
run
wondering,
for
you're
vice
sitting
president
here
of the
saying
United States of
you're
America?
against war abroad, and yet I just want to remind younger viewers at home, you ran with the most warmongering senator of my lifetime.
And you're asking why I ran for vice president of the United States
No,
of
no, I
America?
That
know
is a
why
good
you ran.
question,
You want
Sarah.
power.
Well, you
I'm just
asked-
saying why you're not
you-
consistent.
I
But
I mean,
maybe
to
that's
be fair to
pointless
Palin,
question.
Vance accepted the
asked-
nomination, and he said that Trump could be America's next Hitler. So, I mean,
That's
you
true,
know.
maybe.
All right, why don't we try and be a little fairer to the ex-governor, because she's on her
It
own
was a
here getting
question.
attacked
It was
by
a
three
question.
brutal
I
males.
wanted
Well,
to
I
talk
think-
about energy and America's
Yeah, finish your
need
point on
What you
that.
said was
for
false about energy. Facts matter too.
and
America has record energy.
Shout out to
independence right now.
Mr. Joy
It does.
420.
People can Google it right now
When
and see
I
that you're
said
telling
that
the
on
truth.
day one, what the Biden administration did was halt so much of our exploration
have record energy
and our
production.
construction of pipelines.
She is aging pretty good.
I'm not a fan of that, by the way. I think we should have less
denied-
energy production.
You lied.
I'm a critic of
You're a
Biden on his
liar.
energy production.
You're a liar. You lied.
I'm
and
a
you,
liar.
Yes, and you said no, Biden didn't do that. Yes, he did on day one.
Do you know he handed out more
they
licenses to
they
Trump? Do you know that?
I'm making the point that you denied. My point is true.
Destiny said energy's
that-
higher, and you said no. So if anyone lied, you did.
Listen.
People can DVR it, they can rewind it and see you saying a false
me ask-
statement.
let me ask
Yes,
this question.
You don't
energy
think-
production higher. Is
you
energy
don't
production
think
higher
that
today?
You don't think that Biden
Is energy
thwarted
production
our
higher under Biden than
exploration?
Trump?
And you just
Is
lied
energy production
and
higher,
said
Sarah
that-
Palin?
that
It's a very simple
Biden
question.
didn't
I know
do it.
facts are not your strong point. Is energy production higher today under Biden than under Trump? It's a simple yes or no
You're
question.
an obnoxious.
See, but then the issue
Facts
is-
hurt, don't you? Facts don't care about your feelings.
Are Americans wrong when they have this feeling? Well, the feelings
I'm
oftentimes are
obnoxious because
generated
I
from
asked
the-
if energy production is higher today than under Trump.
You're
That makes me
obnoxious
obnoxious.
because I'm asking you why you would say that
I mean, I'm
Biden didn't
obnoxious.
thwart.
You're a
He
racist.
didn't
We want to play
thwart-
that game? You said Obama is not born in America. He's
I
not one of
did?
us.
I
He's
said that?
Yeah, you said Trump is doing a great job asking for his birth certificate.
I
You said
said
he's
that?
you said he's not one of us. You said he jives and schmucks. Should we go down the record? You're going to call me obnoxious? Why don't we talk about your racism?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about your racism?
Why do you change the subject
you
instead
said
of
Black
just
Lives Matter
answering a
protesters are dogs.
question?
Should we go down? Should
I
we go down
said
the
they're
All right,
dogs.
all right,
You're
hang
a
on.
liar.
All right, let's
Yo, hey, Sarah Palin, she did say we read her statement, I think like a couple days ago, right? So she said something like, yo, since they won't call off the dogs, we're gonna have to get somebody that will. So that can be construed as her saying that the Black Lives Matter protesters are dogs. So he's very clever with using her words against her. So she technically not lying, but he's technically not lying either, because the way she said it is up for interpretation on how you want it to mean. So that's now she getting heated like, you're a liar. So he tried to he already know I got her, I'm setting her off. and then not. I'm give it a clincher.
Great job asking for his birth certificate.
I said that?
You said he's not one of us. You said he jives and schmucks. Should we go down the record? You're going to call me obnoxious? Why don't we talk about your racism?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about your racism?
Why do you change the subject?
You said Black Lives Matter protesters are dogs. Should we go down?
I said they're dogs.
All right,
You're
hang
a
on.
liar.
All right, let's
Show me where I ever said that protesters
It's funny you didn't deny the Obama. You say Obama's shocking and jive.
You're a liar.
Mehdi, if you get the governor on your show, which is, I would say, unlikely as things stand, if you do,
She did like say something that can be construed like that. She did. Like we read it. She did.
can continue the prosecution.
But she like dated like a black dude and all. I think it was like a basketball player or something. Like I don't think she's racist. I think like when she said she wasn't thinking. Like, and then, you know, like when you're a politician, if you say anything like that at all, it's going to be brought up. And Mehdi is very smart with his research. Like he studies the people before they come on. So I think he's catching her off guard. She didn't expect that to come up like that, you know, but he is like, it's his interpretation of what she meant, you know, but her words, like she can't really say, I didn't say anything like that because she did.
Just segue to this, though, because it's interesting.
I called people dogs who were protesting in America. You're a liar.
Did you question Obama's birth?
Oh, my goodness.
Did you say he's not one of us?
You know,
Did you say he's palling around with terrorists?
Based on that, we're talking about Bill Ayers at the time and how
So you stand by
Obama
that?
had kicked off
You're standing by Obama's with terrorists?
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe
Did
you
you
even
say
have
he's not
a
one of
show.
us? Did you say Obama's not one of us?
I still want to know this proof that you have of me calling protesters in America dogs.
I believe you refer to Black Lives Matter protesters that way. If I'm
believe
wrong,
you
I'll
are
happily
wrong.
withdraw
All
that
right,
comment.
we'll fact check after this. I want to ask you this, Mehdi.
Yo, she didn't had it when she's like, you said I called protesters. She is going in, bro.
4 times.
We know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot.
Y'all can't hit the likes, man. We got to get more people in here. We got to get it to the algorithm. This video's got like, I think like 115,000 views on it. But we trying to get it up like the other videos. If y'all can't hit the hearts, all of that, if y'all can, shout out to y'all. Thanks to all the people that subscribed today. A lot of people subscribing, but I'm going to rock out with y'all a little bit more. But happy Halloween. You know what I mean? Hopefully y'all going to watch some movies later on. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to y'all.
Nearly 4 years ago, and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol to overturn the will of the people in a free and fair election.
You capping now, lady. That's why everybody going in on you. Because he said, make your way to the Capitol to make your voices be heard peacefully and patriotically. Let your voices be heard. He never said, go there and overturn. That's why y'all couldn't get him on that. Because he never said that.
That he knew he lost.
Well, the polls have told us for weeks that voters feel Harris has not yet defined who she is and what she really wants to do. Last night she tried, and she really did try. There was a lot more autobiography. There was a self-effacing plea to be given a chance. Above all, she tried to cast herself as a unifying force in a country knotted by division. But the crucial final days of her campaign have been squandered on a dark fantasy of fascists, gulags and Nazis. You can't unite and divide at the same time. You can't be for joy and nihilistic Nazism at the same time. And even as she spoke, looming behind her in the White House, the ghost of elections past appeared to give her one last splitting headache.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage.
Joe Biden is messing her up.
I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Man, Joe Biden, you just called me garbage, bro. I'm gonna wear a garbage bag when I'm voting for Trump. That's what thug life. I'm Yo, I see them on hold on, did I post it? Somebody on Twitter was like rocking a garbage bag getting ready to vote. Let me see if I can show y'all this before we get back to this video. I was cracking up when I seen this, bro. Yeah, look, she put on a garbage bag and she about to get ready to vote. Yo, that's hilarious, bro. She's like, well, about to go vote.
Well, that was a staggeringly stupid outburst, which belongs in Hillary Clinton's infamous basket of deplorables slur against effectively half of America. I didn't like Tony Hinchcliffe's jokes at the Trump rally.
Hey, Adrian Kennedy said, he's a subscriber, said, I had a garbage bag vest yesterday at the poll here in Vegas.
I think they were very funny. But we've had 2 days of uproar about an acerbic comedian known for his roasts because he joked that Puerto Rico is an island of garbage. But now the President of the United States has declared that half the population of his own country is human trash. It's hard to imagine a better way of turning out the Republican vote. Meanwhile, the Democrat strategy for turning out their own vote appears to be full-blown shrieking hysteria.
The stakes literally are life and death for every woman in America.
I mean, you're a journalist. You and I might be sharing a cell in 6 months from now.
Support Muslims, and he wants to start internment camps. And that's what we are busy talking to every voter. He's telling you what he's going to do. Believe him.
And these people have like news licenses. The licenses are worth like mad. They're free, but like they're worth like millions and millions of dollars. The people that have them, like it's crazy what they just say anything, bruh. They put on a suit, a dress, and just a lawyer suit, lady, and then just say anything. They are dangerous. They got like a license to slander each other. That's basically what's going on.
Internment camps?
Yes, he has talked internment camps.
Take it from a Brit, this is starting to feel like the Brexit debate back in England. I voted and argued against that decision to leave the European Union. I still do. But the Brexit campaigners ran a smart campaign which branded their opponents as Project Fear, while the Remain campaign ran around saying everyone on the other side was a terrible racist.
Let's hear what Chink's got to say. He's super liberal.
And Joe Biden went out there and said something that was just unconscionable. And if you're going to say you're outraged by a comedian, and I didn't like what he said either. I think most people were pretty, bang on with what you and I saw. Like, come on, like, don't say that. I disagree with it. And it was a bad moment for the campaign because now you're not talking about the issues in that moment. But when he walks out there and he says that Americans are, as he describes it, floating garbage, that's the gift that just keeps on giving. But when you connect the dots, like as much as people say that he's senile and obviously had to drop out of this race, look at what the Democratic Party has said, that, conservatives cling to God and they mock God and guns. You have, Kamala the other day saying you're at the wrong rally when someone says something about believing in Jesus Christ. And then you've got the basket of deplorables by the way, Donald Trump's Hitler in the last week and that he's a fascist and that Kamala Harris believes a fascist. If this is your closing argument to the American people that we truly hate half of this country and we think that you are deplorables, that you are garbage, that you are fascist, that you are Nazis, that you are Hitler, I don't think that's the closing argument that the Democratic Party or any strategist would say, yes, this is what you should be saying in the last days. And I think this could literally cost them not just the presidential. I think this could cost them the Senate, and I think it could cost them some House seats as well because it is the war.
Yo, he digging deep. I think it could cost them the election for real. And look at Chink. I want to hear how he's going to combat this because Joe Biden is running this campaign into the ground. Like he should have just sat back and waited. She gave her closing arguments. Now let the voters decide what they're going to do.
Worst things you could say about half the country going into the final days. You're supposed to have some hope. I mean, Barack Obama, remember, why did he win? He won because he ran off of hope and change. There was some unity in his message. It was hard to land punches against him when he was running against McCain. And people felt like he was going to bring the country together. Kamala Harris is doing the complete opposite of that. I don't understand it. It's inexplicable to me that this is their campaign strategy.
All right, Cenk, you've been smirking there, but I've got to say, you tweeted several days ago you thought Trump might be heading.
I've never seen so many contradictory numbers in a race. So we all have to Luke Skywalker this thing and rely on our intuition. That comes from our experience in covering politics and knowing how to weigh trends and numbers. My intuition is screaming that Trump is going to win. Yeah, and then he did a blog saying that Trump was leading in the polls and Kamala Harris is in trouble. He did, and we reacted to it on it was the Young Turks. He did, so he's kind of been like thinking that she's going to lose. So I want to hear what he's going to say now to defend her.
For victory. When I heard this garbage line last night from Biden, and whatever the White House tries to do by putting an apostrophe at the end, trying to pretend he was talking about Hinchcliffe, it's very clear he said supporters. If you label Trump supporters as garbage, you are falling into exactly the same trap, as Ben Ferguson just said, that Hillary Clinton did, of wiping out an entire section of the American society as deplorable, garbage, whatever. And coming off the back of the absurd Nazi Hitler nonsense, what happened? My question for you is, what happened to the joy? Where's the joy gone here?
You see, I've still got the joy because I'm about to tell you how ridiculous you guys are. But first, let me acknowledge things that are true. So, number one, Biden shouldn't have said it. Look, my co-host on the Young Turks, Anna Kasparian, has been trying to get everybody to stop attacking the voters themselves. I think she's absolutely right about that. I've been guilty of that in the past, and we're trying to get past this. So Biden shouldn't have said that. On the other hand, you know.
What? That's a big deal. Chink is, hey, he got to admit it. I think what's going on, y'all, is the liberal media, they know. Hey, this is going to come down to the wire. We got a guy that's super popular that doesn't have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on advertisement going at Kamala Harris. He's super popular, so he could potentially win. If he wins this thing, we can't have everybody thinking we're super biased. And that's why I think Anderson Cooper went at Kamala Harris and was like, what you going to do with the border? All right, like, don't y'all think y'all should have done something about this 4 years ago? Like, this is why they're kind of starting to try to ask her, like, some difficult questions. And this is why I think they're kind of trying to open up. Yeah, he's going to still defend the blue. But let's hear what he's saying. But I'm very surprised that he said that. I was waiting. I'm like, yo, is he going? Shout out to Chink. Shout out to Chink.
No, Biden's senile. I mean, look at that clip that you played. Stuttering up Puerto Rico, Delaware, I don't know. And we're still... You guys said he was senile and should get out of the race. Now you're like, oh, no. He means it. He's perfectly cogent. He represents all Democrats. So
well,
that's
hang on.
By the way, don't say things like,
hang on.
Okay,
just
here we
clear,
go. Of course.
Just to be clear. Of course. Just to be clear.
Ben speaks for 2 minutes, and I always get interrupted.
No, you'll have plenty of time. But just to be clear, he remains the president of the United States. Joe Biden hasn't quit. He remains in the Oval Office running your country. So I'm sorry to jump in
Piers,
and point out that we may think he's senile.
What do you mean don't do this? He's been in office for 4 years, Jake. Thug life. Like, what do you mean don't do this?
Which I do, but he's still running your country.
Okay, Piers, you know my position on Biden. I ran against him because I thought he was senile, and I thought it was ridiculous. But now all of a sudden you're pretending he's not senile. He is senile. It's like getting mad at somebody with Alzheimer's. What are you getting mad at him for? Well, that's ridiculous. But that's not the point, guys. Look, I'm granting you that he definitely shouldn't have said that, and Debbie Dingell definitely shouldn't have said internment camps because Trump never said that. Now, having said that, guys, are you really pretending to be offended after you've supported Donald Trump, who has said everything in the world about left-wing voters, radical left lunatics? Hey, here we go again. No interruptions. He's called them radical left lunatics, Marxist, communist, fascist. He said that we should use the military.
And then Colton Payton said, yep, hey, if you're going to throw a diss out, hit the super chat, because this video got a lot of views, 100-some thousand, and I ain't about to give you no attention on it, saying your name. But somebody said they have been saying they've been shot as attacked for 3 years.
Military to attack the enemy from within. And then you're pretending that all of a sudden you caught feelings?
Not pretending.
MAGA.
And then Waldo said, LC, we can all agree you don't have to personally like the president. Life was better under Trump. Way better.
Do better than that. You're being ridiculous and you know it. Now you're snowflakes. Now you're snowflakes. After all
right, hang on. Don't all shout. Let me bring in Emily. Emily, apparently we're snowflakes if we're offended by Joe Biden calling 80 million Americans garbage. I don't think that's snowflakery. I mean, I do remember for the last 3 days, all I've heard is Democrats screaming.
You're all ignoring all the things Trump has said. You guys are so nuts.
What are you talking about? We talking about right now Joe Biden is out of line, buddy. I had to make a thumbnail about this and everything. He is out of line. People are offended. They wearing trash bags, going to the voter and protest, trying to vote. He is out of line. He did way too much. He called me trash. That's what he did. Like, I don't care about, like, let's not talk about 20 years ago. He may have said one little thing that he didn't say you're going to misconstrue. Let's talk about right now. Like, we're deplorables. We're trash. Like, come on, bro. We not doing that, Chink.
I'll come back to you, the most vicious politician of our lifetime.
The way Democrats,
he's like purest and driven snow.
Wait a second. The way Democrats have pivoted. Hang on. The way Democrats have pivoted in the last 3 days from garbage is the worst slur imaginable to just because Joe Biden calls 80 million Americans garbage, suddenly, why are you getting so offended? Is laughable. Emily, to you.
Okay, let me make something clear. The Republicans are not snowflakes, and since Biden called the Americans who support Trump garbage, all I've seen on X are memes.
Yo, hey, Wiki, stop playing. So I hope that is true. People are wearing trash bags going to the polls. Yo, Wiki, you terrible, bro. I'm a wear a trash bag and go vote.
Of people going to vote now in garbage bags, memes of people putting trash cans on the street and saying it's a family portrait. Republicans are not snowflakes. And truth be told, I don't think anyone's offended because, yes, our sitting president who has nuclear codes is a senile old man that, let me remind everyone.
Facts. I mean, allegedly. Kind of seem kind of facts.
Kamala literally 2.5 months ago was endorsing him and reminding everyone that he is sharp as a tack. But here's the issue. It doesn't speak to the Republicans. It's showing the American people that...
Angela Craig said, that's my Halloween costume today. I'm being a garbage can. My chat crazy, bro. Y'all crazy. And then Haruhito with the $9.99 said, Trump attacks other politicians is not their voters. Democrats attack regular voters constantly. They will do anything to try to sway public opinion, even go at us. It's ridiculous.
Despite Harris Walls claiming they're the party of
Shout out
unity
to you
and they're
for
for
supporting
everyone,
this
and
channel.
yes, Harris is a continuation of Biden, who's failed as a president. They claim to try to unite everyone. But then the sitting president goes out and says, oh, you all are garbage. We don't care what he says. He's delusional. But it speaks to their character, it speaks to their party, and it speaks to their values.
Bingo.
And that is a problem that they're showing the American people their true colors. Republicans don't care. Call us garbage.
How about
call
your
us
values?
deplorables. We just want our president in office.
Okay,
Let's talk about
Vajra, I mean, look,
How about
I
your
think
values?
whatever. Hang
all
on,
Trump
Jake. I'll
does is
come back to
attack
you.
us
No, no, Jake, let me-
1,000 times, and you
We don't call
totally
you
ignore
Hitler.
that.
We don't
Hang
call
on,
you
let me
Hitler.
bring-
We don't say shoot.
You guys are literally calling him Hitler now. Like, you can't, Chink knows, look at his face. You can't really, like, what CNN and all these people are doing, you can't defend that, bro. They're out of pocket. They're out of line. And then shout out to Angela Craig with the $3 like. I appreciate that. You sponsoring the channel. I appreciate that.
Go to camps for
hang on,
re-education.
He's called us every name of the book. He
Hang
has.
on,
He's
we're
called
coming
us
to Hitler.
fascist. He's called us
We're
Marxist.
coming to Hitler. We're coming to Hitler, which is now only the second most offensive thing of the week. Vajra, from a political point of view, the stupidity of what Biden did can't be overstated, really, because Kamala Harris, I watched it last night. Look, I think she talks a lot of word salad nonsense. Honestly, I do. She wouldn't inspire me to open a crisp packet, let alone vote for her. However, she's the Democrat nominee. The polls are absolutely neck and neck, particularly in the swing states. The very last thing she would have wanted when she's presented her final argument to the nation is for Joe Biden, the guy she's replaced, who's still her president, to pop up on a Skype call of all things and say this kind of thing, which, whether it's been misinterpreted or not, and I don't think it has been, it's just such a gift to Republicans, isn't it?
This is me playing the world's smallest violin for all the fake outrage of MAGA and Trump supporters, who I believe are the most fickle, brittle, weak people on earth, who can dispense cruelty.
Wow. He's just like attacking voters. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Have you no, like, professionalism, man? What's up with this dude?
and demand civility, who hate safe spaces for everyone, want safe spaces for themselves, and who, by the way, with this hypocritical fake outrage, the reason why I don't think most people will care is because people know what Trump is for the past 9 years. And just yesterday, Donald Trump, who is running for president, Joe Biden is not, and Joe Biden, he's 81 years old, he has a stutter, and by the way, I appreciate the context that he gave. I don't think he needed to, but he did. Donald Trump yesterday.
I don't think he needed to, but he did. Shout out to, we got some donations. Shout out to Brandon Saint with the donation. Appreciate you, bro.
Final pitch of the country.
Cash App, appreciate you. And then Ali Mac with the $2 said, Kamala should have funded a battle rap event. Hey, remember when Joe Biden tried to get Charlie Clips and DNA to rap like for them? It's ridiculous.
Garbage can. Donald Trump said all of us, 340 million Americans, live in a garbage can. Yes, he did. Yesterday in his speech, he said America is a garbage can. Yesterday, Donald Trump said Democrats, who are the majority, are sick
and we heard the context of that earlier. That's not what Trump was saying.
Evil people. Yesterday, folks, Donald Trump.
He's saying that, with all the illegals flooding in, you guys are treating America like a garbage can when it's not. It's basically what he was saying.
Trump, when confronted
calling people
with these
Hitler,
offensive
it's a good
comments.
Context. If you talk about context,
let me finish,
context.
Ben, don't gish gallop. Ben, I'm about to kick your ass. Don't gish gallop. Just listen to me. I listen to you.
Dude, you're like a buck 20, and this is what we're
what?
doing, okay?
I laughed this. Just let me listen. I'm going to do it with a smile on my face.
Hang on.
I'm hitting the like button.
Don't talk over each other because people can't hear. But I do really. Hang on. I do want to see. Hang on. Hang on, Ben. Hang on. I do want to see Vajrahat try and kick Ben Ferguson's ass. So off you go, Vajrahat.
Not going to happen.
All right. I'm going to do it with a smile on my face. I'm going to do it relaxed. Yesterday, when Donald Trump was confronted with, I'm glad you and Ben and Pierce agree that it was horrific, disgusting comments against Puerto Rico, black people, against Jews, against Palestinians, against women, which, by the way, have rallied Puerto Ricans all across America. You know what Donald Trump said? No big deal. Yesterday, this past week, J.D. Vance said, get over it. J.D. Vance, his vice president, is the one who called him Hitler. By the way, guess who said that Donald Trump praises Hitler? 4-star General John Kelly, just in the past 2 weeks. In the final 2 weeks of his campaign to unify America, you know what Donald Trump said? That the people who are against him are enemy of the people, another Hitler line, and he said he would unleash the military and the National Guard against U.S. citizens, against immigrants and migrants.
No, what he was saying, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Trump was saying, like, in an election, if you had, because he was talking about, like, radicals, like, on the left. But he was like, yo, if it gets bad, like, in an election and you got radicals on the left and radicals on the right, then you would have to call in, like, you know what I mean, like the National Guard or whatever. But he was just saying, like, we don't want any radicals, like, interfering, you know what I mean, and getting violent and stuff like that, like during an election. That's what he was saying. But this guy's trying to they are very good with, like, taking just little lines and trying to twist them and turn them into something else. Like, so if you get a news license, you can just lie. I don't think he has a news license, but, like, news companies, they could just lie, like CNN. It's crazy.
He said he will invoke the Alien Sedition Act that in turn...
Yeah, The View said, I'm so sick of them trying to spread the false rhetoric. Yeah, it's just insane. Like, and if we haven't been watching all of these videos and seeing, like, everything everybody's been saying, and, like, I would be believing it too. I'd be like, wait, Trump said that? But now we know, like, the context of everything that he said. This dude is trying to trick people. And you got to understand, like, right, they're used to talking to people that are, like, maybe, like, on the you know what I mean? Like, they think they're talking, like, late 70s, type people. But shout out to people in their late 70s. People living longer, so I would say, like, 80s. You know what I'm saying? Thug life. But they used to talking to, like, the older demographic that may not get on their phone and, like, look stuff up. Or may have the time, but may be, worried about other things. They don't want to be going and looking and see what people are saying. But, like, like, people that are, like, 60s and, you know what I'm saying, like, under, like, people are starting to look and pay attention to what's going on, bro.
Japanese Americans. This is the same man who ran against the same man who promoted a neo-Nazi conspiracy about Haitian immigrants eating pets, even after he was told it was a lie. The Wall Street Journal, funded by Murdoch, not a left-wing rag, a right-wing outlet, reported that Him and Vance were told it was a lie. He still said it, which has caused stochastic terrorism in Springfield, Ohio. So this is Donald Trump. The majority of people don't care. The majority of people know Biden apologized.
Real quick, like in the chat, because I'm gonna look at the chat. Like, y'all tell me, like, how old are y'all? Like, that's in the chat. I'm curious.
Stuttered, and the majority of people saw Kamala Harris at the ellipse. 75,000 people came. You saw the last point. Last point I'll make. 75,000 people came out to see Kamala Harris at the ellipse. I'm so glad she was at the ellipse, because you know why? It's a contrast. Kamala Harris was there for the Constitution, for the United States of America, for the rule.
All right, so Matthew Fisher said he's 40. 913 Smoke said 30. Austin said 28. A said AJH04 said 20. Robert Pounder said 42. Donna said 50. Donna, how old are you? Hold on. Like, the chat's starting to go fast. I gotta slow it down. All right. So Donna said 55. Juan Morales said 30. Roboduck said 58. Jack Brown said 40s. No, Jack Brown, how old are you, man? Don't say 40s. How old are you, bro? Like, stop playing with us, bro. Virginia Hobby said 65. Nigel Bingman said 25. Brian Austin said 41. CPT said 47. Pittsburgh, PA. Wicked said, hold on. And then Maurice said 21. FPRT said 40. David Smith said 38. Trading Arsenal said 39. Matt Cheney said 41. Mafioso said 45. Ryan Childers said 28. Okay. All right. John Burnett said 52. Brian Mabry said 40. Angela Craig said 38. Jack Brown 42. DeReal Dundada said, I'm 60. No, you not, bro. You are not 60. Panda Man said 21. Stanley Fret said 32. All right, so we got a lot of different age demographics. Aline said 45. Eric Sims says 34. Jay Skindian said 35. Brandon 43. Kevin said, bro, don't believe any of them. Johnny Muncie said 41. Melissa, nah, stop playing, Melissa. How old is you? Stop playing. Alejandra said 40. Stacy Thomas said 40. Cooking with Esteban said 36. Kevin Marcellus said 30. Majestic Hero 34. All right.
Donald Trump incited a violent insurrection. And just 2 weeks ago at Univision, when the 56-year-old Latino construction worker asked him to apologize.
Hold on. Devontae said 26. Lex said 37. Aim said 53. Thizzle said 35. Sleep Inc. said 23.
Apologize for it.
Randy 2K said 38. Reem said 39. And then I'm also doing this so people can see, like, you know what I mean? Like, there are people in here. David Smith, Sleep Inc. shout out to you. And then Craig Wilson said just turned 29 yesterday. All right. You on the right track, man. You trying to figure out everything that's going on. LaShawn Powell said 44. Lindell Rose 41. Love and Light said 39. Diedrich Sean said 46.
You saw that view of those Latino women.
Annabelle 49.
And he is going to
Meredith,
lose.
52.
I'm here for the MAGA tears. They're sugar for my chai.
Okay. He's here for the MAGA tears, Ben. Are you prepared to start crying?
I go back to, and this is why I feel like it's going to be a very strong election night. There's nothing that was just talked about that matters to the people that are hurting and suffering in this country right now. Nothing that was just said there was unifying. Nothing that was just said there was about the concerns of people that are struggling in this country with inflation, with illegal immigration, with convicted terrorists coming across the border, with those that are convicted of murder and rape that are coming across the border. There is zero concern for the American people in your closing argument. And this is the reason why Donald Trump will win on election night.
Ben, do you agree?
Your only thing you can do and come out and say is, if I disagree with you, I'm going to kick your ass, which, by the way, goes back to what you guys do. We don't like you.
Yeah, you guys are like so like angry. Like the blue people are angry. You know what's crazy? Chink is normally like jumping in. He is standoffish with this panel. I don't think he can defend. Gunny 557 Gaming said he's 21. All right.
Lock you up.
Peachy is 28.
We put you in prison.
Ben, do you agree?
Do you agree
with Donald Trump?
And then you're like, I don't like. I'm going to kick your ass. Like, this is your closing argument. You guys need to like get out of junior high.
I wasn't the one. I didn't participate in a violent insurrection, Ben. I didn't participate in a violent insurrection.
It when it
MAGA
happened.
people
So
did.
guess what? We're not all. See, this is the difference.
Peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. This is what we talking about, y'all. This dude is such a liar.
You guys hate half of America, and you don't understand that your hatred is.
You think we wear glad bags? Y'all are caught like Che can't even like defend you right now. His argument is, I'm gonna kick your, like, what? What kind of argument is that? Y'all losing so bad to the public, that's what you gotta say? He's being very professional. He cooking you.
Said everyone is bad when one person or two people
let's let Emily speak.
Samantha's 38.
all of America.
Gentlemen, let's let the lady speak.
Hold on, Melissa's about to tell us the truth. All right, Melissa said I'm 39 for real. All right.
Emily?
Please,
Thank you, boys. The problem is that I think the Democratic Party, they're way too emotional about this election. And it's funny that Wajat's calling the MAGA people the sensitive ones when you cry over misgendering someone. When a dude looks like a dude and identifies as a woman and is called she, you start crying. So don't talk to me about oversensitivity. That's a definition of the Democratic Party.
Yes, homophobic.
Yeah, you guys are super sensitive. Hey, Melissa, who are you voting for? Are you red or blue? LC, you too. Who are you voting for? I think LC is blue. Lauren Doughty said love from Providence. Oh, shout out to you. Huh.
Have to like
yes,
Donald
go
Trump.
after the transgenders.
You guys have TDS syndrome. You don't understand that this is not about emotions. Ben just said it perfectly. Every single argument that the left uses against the right are not real factors that impact the American people. They're not factors.
Yo, Logan in here, he said I'm 32 but self-identify as 21. Hey, I identify as an IRS agent. Hit the like button. Hit the super chat. Give me your money. Thug life.
That keep America safe. It's nothing that helps the economy. You focus solely on how does Trump make me feel when I go to sleep at night. He doesn't like women. He made a joke about a black person and a Jew and a Muslim and a Christian. Listen to me, that comedian, you guys are pretending suddenly everyone cares about Puerto Rico, but when they were after hurricane, no one gave a damn about them. But let's just forget that.
Facts. Look at him smiling. She caught you. Y'all didn't care about Puerto Rico when they went through it. Look at him. Look at him.
For a moment. This comedian makes fun of everyone. So talk about selective outrage. That joke caused selective outrage because he literally rips every demographic of people. And let me tell you, the
dude said that Halloween we carving watermelon. Like he ripped everybody.
This comedian is not our sitting president. When the sitting president calls half of America garbage, that's a bigger problem than a comedian who rips every group of people speaking at a rally. Do me a favor, selective outrage. You guys can't stop crying nonstop about your TDS.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the point about Tony Hinchcliffe is, hang on. The point about Tony Hinchcliffe, if you watch the Netflix Tom Brady roast special, he is the star of that roast. He says stuff that makes what he said at the Madison Square Garden seem like a tea party. I mean, he is an offensive roaster of absolutely everyone and everything. And nobody seemed to mind when he was doing it in a Netflix special, which is still available.
They loved it.
Wait, Chink is giving no pushback? Shout out to LC. He said Piper 2024.
Tom Brady's roasting. Everyone found him hilarious. And my point to you...
Did not just say I identify as IRS. Give me $1 so I can buy a coffee. Yeah, TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Mafioso with the $5 said, if it was Biden who had said, go to the Capitol and peacefully make your voices be heard, these people in the panel would have defended it. Exactly. Exactly.
Did it fit any political agenda?
Jon Stewart, of all people, came forward and said, I'm sorry, I find this guy funny. And I wonder how many of the people screaming about Tony Hinchcliffe's jokes quietly found him quite funny. I didn't particularly, but a lot of people would have found his humour funny if they know he's a roaster. But I'm feigning outrage. And then the moment Biden, who is the president of the United States, uses exactly the same word to slur 80 million Americans, suddenly we should all stop being offended. You can't have it both ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, so first of all, I respect Jon Stewart. So when he said he likes him as a comic, fine. But you're wrong about one thing. He slurred.
Yo, we got 1,871 subscribers to go, and then we will be at 100,000 subscribers. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
All of those minor.
Yo, y'all know, like, y'all subscribing, y'all gonna make them blue people like real mad. Like, if they see me up here with 100,000 subscribers, yo, them blue people ain't gonna like that, bro.
You're right. But there's one group he didn't touch at all. White people. And men. And MAGA. Huh, what a funny coincidence from a brave roaster. So you're in front of MAGA, you don't roast them at all.
Yeah.
All you do is roast people you don't like. Interesting. Okay, so now, but guys, this whole getting offended shtick that both sides are doing is maddening. There's a slight agreement there with Ben on that I have on that. So
Shout out to DK.
Trump, does every insult in the world. You guys now are pretending that, oh my God, I caught the vapors. He called us garbage. After Trump, you loved when Trump said all these terrible things. So look at what actually is going on. Why is Kamala Harris pointing out at the end that Donald Trump is a unique danger? Because if you're being honest, he is a unique danger. You don't have to go to internment camps. You don't have to go to Hitler analogies, etc. But when the guy says that the left is the enemy from within and he might use the military on them, and there are his own advisors who said, yes, we had conversations in the White House where Trump asked us if we could use the military to shoot protesters in the leg, which, by the way, shooting protesters, it doesn't get any more cancel culture than that. And he said after he lost that we should terminate the Constitution. If that's not a unique danger to the Constitution and the democracy, what is? And if you say we shouldn't point that out, we shouldn't point out that a guy wanted to terminate the Constitution and shoot the protesters with the U.S. military, and you don't get why that sounds like, and fill in the blank, fascist, dictator, wannabe, whatever word you want, but that sounds super dangerous.
This is the problem. This was not corroborated by people in a large group. The majority of people around Trump said that what you just described, including the comments from last week, never, ever happened. And the people that say it are people that hate Donald Trump. So that's number one. Number two, I look at what he did in office.
Their own staffers.
He didn't start wars.
It's his
he didn't start wars. Let me finish. He didn't start wars. He ended wars. He had the lowest unemployment for Hispanic Americans and African Americans in history. He had interest rates down in 2+% on a 30-year mortgage. He had inflation down. People could afford to live. And I go back to the closing argument theme here. Piers, if this is what Democrats want to talk about till Election Day, 6 days from now, then knock yourself out, because you're going to
exactly. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic.
Lose, because none of this is about the suffering of Americans in this country right now. None of it's about safety. None of it's about ending wars. None of it is about the people that are hurting, living paycheck to paycheck right now. And that is what Donald Trump is talking about here. And the Democrats are saying we hate half of America. You're garbage. The president of the United States of America is saying it. The vice president is saying he's a fascist and Hitler. If that is your closing argument, you are going to lose. And I go back to Barack Obama. Barack Obama understood retail politics. You have to give something that makes people think about a future that's better than it is right now. When he went on Hope and Change, yes, it was rhetoric, but it worked because it gave people hope for the future. And this party right now is filled with hate. The Democratic Party is filled with hate. Harris and her team are filled with hate for half of America.
Bro, they are, bro. He just literally said that he would put hands on dude. The argument.
They're trying to make a firestorm out of something that, again, if you look at it, you look at what he said immediately afterward, which Donald Trump didn't say. He immediately afterwards said, no, that's not what I meant. I was talking about the comedian and people that supported that kind of talk.
Bruh.
You know, Willie, Joe Biden obviously doesn't believe that.
As someone who had a stutter growing up, it's very obvious to me that there's an apostrophe at the end of supporters there. He was referring to the garbage spewed by supporters.
No, that is bugging.
It's basically calling Puerto Ricans trash.
The most repulsive racial jokes about Latinos.
Disgusting and hateful.
Wow. So incredibly crude.
Frankly, just too X-rated to play here.
Extremely vile, so-called joke.
Much has been made about Biden's comments. The White House is in total damage control. It's whether there was an apostrophe S, his supporters garbage, that it was, or supporters plural as garbage. What is your take and what will be the impact?
Just what the Harris campaign wanted to be talking about is apostrophes. It's quite a gift from the old boss at the end of the campaign. But is it really, from a political matter, from a political standpoint, is it going to matter? Is there a voter who's going to take umbrage at these remarks?
Hold on, Melissa trying to play in the chat. Melissa, who are you voting for? We see you, Melissa. Who are you voting for?
Offended and then rush to the polls, who wasn't already going to the polls in the first place. Now, in terms of the distraction, the point I made at the beginning, Harris would like everybody focused on her closing arguments to the extent that this kind of takes over the news cycle for the morning. That's not what they wanted. More proof of why Joe Biden was a candidate they were worried about having to be at the top of the ticket. So it's not what you want, but I don't know in the end if this really. Also, by the way, if you want to get in an insult comparing contest with the top of the Republican ticket, that's not a conversation that Donald Trump will come out of well. So I think this is one of those things that gets covered in a campaign, but I'm not sure of the practical effect it's going to have on voters.
Alejandro said on PR, and I don't give a crap of what some controversial comedian.
90% of the issues that they bring up, voters don't give a damn about.
Hold on, I thought that was absurd how
it's
they
just their own medicine. They don't like.
That was absurd how they just went out of their way to justify Joe Biden's comments, and then went out of their way to vilify a comedian for telling jokes,
and then blame it.
I'm so happy that these younger youth, African American youth, are kind of seeing what's going on, and they're not just running blind. That makes me happy. Shout out to them.
On Trump. Since when is it wrong to tell jokes?
So couldn't blame.
Since when is it wrong?
And think about how many black comedians crack jokes on white people all the time. All the time.
Since when is people exempt from telling jokes? Because they feelings might get hurt.
Hey, Reem in the subscriber section. Reem says supporters doesn't have an apostrophe. They inventing grammar now. Exactly.
I mean, we was there.
I'm confused.
I heard that joke right in person.
I'm just confused. That's what I'm saying. Nobody laughed.
At the time,
I was literally there.
I had the thought, obviously I didn't care, but I had the thought, somebody else might not like.
You know
that.
what's crazy?
Yeah.
It's funny that you actually heard them words come out of Joe Biden's mouth, and then you heard a comedian say something, and they try to say that what Donald Trump said. So that is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
You could actually literally see the actual president say it, and a man that was just talking.
Yo, and he not he's the president, and he just called half of America garbage. That's crazy, bro. We're deplorables. We're garbage. That's crazy.
Just for entertainment purposes.
That's right. 913 for smoke said change is coming.
It's just crazy.
And then shout out to Hirohito with the 999 said Biden is low-key trying to I can't even say that. Biden is low-key trying to B-word Harris's campaign. Joe even rocked a Trump hat. Joe is not smart, but he ain't that dumb. Yeah, I seen that, bro. Yo, Trump took advantage of that with his marketing. Did you see that?
No standard in massage.
Having Joe Biden in the hat. Make America great again.
I'm just tired of the double standard that the media has for Democrats and Republicans. I'm tired of it. We can already see what's at play here. They're playing to protect their interests.
The joke was ass, though. The joke was terrible. I didn't.
Bro, but he made a joke about black people too and carving watermelons.
I mean, yeah, that shit. Oh, I thought that's what they was talking about.
No, they talking about he called Puerto Rico a floating island in the garbage.
But you know what's crazy?
Bull flipping who?
You know what's crazy? There's actually a lot of trash that actually
yeah, they got a lot of trash in Puerto Rico.
Literally, trash come on their beaches a lot.
I still see more people mad about the watermelon than and I seen people after
that.
A bunch of people in Puerto Rico were lined up with Trump flags, they don't give a damn. Hey, they know their country's pretty garbage. Or don't we own some? Don't we? No, that's
Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory.
Oh,
yes,
is Puerto Rico?
It's a territory, but it's not a state.
Yes, Puerto Rico is U.S. territory. It's not state or nothing, but it's you.
So we should help them out, get some trash off of there.
Yeah. Hold on.
I mean, look.
Do they get to vote in our election?
Hell no.
They're not
Hell
US.
no.
It's U.S. territory.
I mean, they might be able to. I mean, anybody can come here and vote without a voter ID in some states. You know what I mean?
Joke wasn't that bad, but the watermelon joke was not funny. I'm gonna be real. That to me, but when I watched it over the phone, it was a little bit more funny than in person. Because I was just like, because I was at the rally, I was like,
Oh, he was at the rally. Oh, that's fire. Oh yeah, they might be in New York.
oh, they're not gonna like that shit. Like, I mean, No, that's what I was thinking too.
I watched
I was
every.
thinking that too. I was like, just a pointless joke.
I really
They're not gonna
watched
like
every speaker at the rally. I sat and watched all of it, and I really don't see what the problem is with everything. Like, people always find stuff to. I saw Megyn Kelly came out and said it was very bro-tastic and very like pandering to men. That is a fact. I can agree with that. But to say that it was a Nazi rally is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, dude.
All right, y'all. We coming back later. Shout out to everybody for rocking with me. Happy Halloween. We were probably like in the middle of the night, maybe like later on, like end up or close to the 12 or something like that, end up doing a live. I appreciate everybody for the support. You know what I mean? We got, it looks like a lot of subscribers today. We had 28,214 subscribers for going on 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Or close to 4 weeks. And we had 98,100 and something subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all. We on the road to 100,000. Everybody's been rocking with me. It is what it is. We will be back. Click the notification bell if y'all can, so y'all can get notified on when I'm live. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm out. Peace.